Ogio, Under Armour, and the CI Sport brand. With competitive pricing and fast turnaround times, we help you work harder, play harder, and cheer harder in style. CI Apparel, 2121 43rd Street South in Fargo, and CIapparel.com.
It's that time of year again. Our kids are busy with activities, and we're all running in different directions. So, stop. Take a few minutes and look around your home. Seriously, look around your home. Does it feel comfy, not chaotic? And your kitchen, is it inviting, organized, and clean? If not, do what I did. I got help from Northern Stone. They understand that a new quartz or granite counter and backsplash will refresh and change the look and feel of your whole kitchen. Northern Stone. Visit Main Avenue in Fargo across from the fairgrounds.
Sicky's Garage. 50 burgers, 50 brews.
Sicky's has the game plan for game day. Kick off with award-winning wings, maybe tachos, or go for the end zone with a Kobe burger, or get it supercharged. Show off your skills with our football bracket. Score big with weekly prizes, and register to win an 80-inch flat-screen TV. Go to Sicky'sBurgers.com, make your picks, and we'll see you at Sicky's.
Sicky's Garage. 50 burgers, 50 brews, and more.
I think what makes Proceed win is we're different than the other companies in many ways with our programming, our simplicity, our non-corporate attitudes, and our personal relationship building.
What Proceed is, we bring back the old-fashioned seed buying experience. We're true seedsmen. We care about everything from the sale to the planting to following up afterwards. That's what we're all about, is just trying to bring that experience back to a personal level.
Need seed? Think Proceed. Proceed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Hi, I'm Grant Nelson, NDSU Bison basketball player. Whether it's playing basketball or driving in my car, I want to do everything to the best of my ability, on the court and off the court. So when I'm in the car, I up my game with the Drive for Less program from Nodak Insurance. I could save up to 30% on my premium just for driving safely. To me, that's a slam dunk. Download the Nodak Insurance app today.
Good news! Gateway Clearance Center's construction is all done. Stop by the newly remodeled Clearance Center and experience Clearance Center pricing. Clearance Center savings. The all-new Gateway Clearance Center has been expanded and remodeled to serve you better with a bigger and better selection of clean used vehicles. The Gateway Clearance Center has over 250 used cars and trucks. Payments starting at just $199 a month. On-the-spot financing. Gateway Clearance Center, 2302 South University Drive, Fargo.
KQWB, West Fargo, Fargo-Moorhead, and KPFX, HD3 Kindred, Bison 1660. Powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
We are much more. And here's what you need to know.
The Steelers officially making a change at quarterback. Pittsburgh announcing that rookie Kenny Pickett will start at QB on Sunday against the Bills. He replaced Mitchell Trubisky on Sunday against the Jets, throwing 3 interceptions. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott hasn't been ruled out yet for Sunday's upcoming game against the Rams, recovering from thumb surgery, but owner and general manager Jerry Jones told 105.3 The Fan that Prescott can't grip a football well enough to play at the moment. The Browns placed rookie running back Jerome Ford on injured reserve. He suffered an ankle injury during Sunday's loss to the Falcons. The Broncos put defensive end Randy Gregory on IR as well. He needs arthroscopic surgery on his right knee, but Denver expects to have him back this season. In baseball, the Braves failed to clinch the NL East last night, but they'll have a chance to do it again tonight when they play the Marlins. Mets and Nationals playing a doubleheader. I'm Nick Cope.
You've got the Insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. That's right. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
The Insiders.
Insiders. Rob Hipp and Andy Rickoff.
Oh, it's just another Tuesday. Continuing to roll on. Another week, another day, another dime, another dollar. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp, Micah Bindi with you. I got Rob to chuckle at the beginning of the show. That means it's going to be a good couple of hours. Some sports talk with you, loaded lineup. Want you to be a part of it as well. You can call or text us. Just another Tuesday. Here we go. It's the Insiders, Bison 1660. Happy to be with you once again. And the gang is all here. As I said, Andy, Rob, and Micah. Middle of early October at this point. A little chill in the air, a little fall crisp. The fall leaves are starting to show, starting to fall a bit. Harder to find your golf ball on the golf course because of that, too. You hit a perfect drive and you can't find it because there's like 25 leaves right around your ball and it just hides it. That's the worst.
Yeah, your ball in the fairway, and it's like, I know I put it in the middle.
Yeah, I put it up here. It was a good shot. Gotta get this ball back, and nope, don't. You lose like 10 more balls that you shouldn't have lost. You don't really find them either. You think you just find somebody else's, but you don't. So this is what it is. But fall is here. Football's going. Bison doing well. Vikings doing well. Cowboys doing well for you, Rob. This is a good October right now. We're swimming high.
It's all good. Dahmer ratings through the roof. It's a great time.
Have you watched that?
Unfortunately, yeah, and I only watched one episode, and I told Bridget I never want to see anything like this again. It's good snuggle mood, good snuggle TV.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's the length of those episodes?
An hour.
Hour long?
The Dahmer thing on Netflix?
Yeah, stay away from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'll probably watch it, to be honest with you, because enough people have talked about it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's just the internet. Thank the internet for this kind of stuff because, you go back 20 years ago and there was something exciting. It was what spread through newspapers and pagers. Now it's internet, Facebook. Everybody's got to watch this.
Worldwide, just like that.
Yeah.
I finished up Stranger Things last night. That's kind of the show I've been watching, so finished that up. Also been watching Welcome to Wrexham on Hulu with Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. They bought a football team or a soccer club over in England, and I've been kind of going through that. That's a fun little show to watch, too. But I was definitely said once I get done with Stranger Things, then I was going to jump into Dahmer.
So. I typically don't watch a lot of TV, to be honest. I mean, I'll go home. By the time I get done here, it's time to take care of baby, and then it's bedtime. Put on a little news. I'm that old man now. I like to watch a little news, catch up on Sports Center.
What's
and go to
on
sleep.
the TV though for Braylon?
That's
who commands
Miss
the TV
Rachel.
for you.
This thing called Miss Rachel.
Miss Rachel.
And now I feel like Miss Rachel is part of our family. I feel like I have to send her gifts on her birthday now because she's part of the family.
Is it no longer Coco Melon? I thought that was the hot thing for the kids.
I don't like the entertainment, just the pure entertainment. I like the educational entertainment. I'm talking, I grew up Sesame Street, man.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Is it Sesame Street?
Sesame.
What did you say? Sesame.
Sesame.
Yeah.
Street, yeah.
It's Sesame. It's Sesame. That's
Sesame.
Right. But yeah, that's what
Today's
I watched.
show is brought to you by the letter G.
Yeah, that's what I grew up watching.
Yeah.
So there's so much of this entertainment stuff that's out there nowadays for kids. I want there to be the educational component. And
so Miss Rachel does that.
Miss Rachel does it awesomely.
What does Miss Rachel do?
That's what she does. She's a musician, but she has tons of kids videos on YouTube, millions of subscribers, and as soon as she puts out a new video, it's like boom, 1 million views the next day.
Gotcha. So this isn't like a TV show or something.
No, it's
this
a
is
YouTube.
Like YouTube. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss Rachel. There you go.
Miss Rachel.
That's the thing for the kids from Rob Hip.
I'll take that with me when I have kids in the future.
Fun show. We probably won't talk anymore about Miss Rachel, but that's good to know. Good to know that kind of stuff.
Get her as a gift.
Don't watch Dahmer with Braylon. That's not going to be on the TV
definitely
for sure.
Not.
Definitely not.
Not good education.
Not good at all. Fun show for you. We do have Easton Stick. It's a Tuesday, so I'll talk Miss Rachel. We'll talk TV. We'll talk Easton Stick because Easton Stick will come on with us every Tuesday. Brought to you by Red River Commodities, the Spirit Shop and Men's Hair Company, and they got a nice win. They beat Houston on the road. I do remember on Sunday vividly looking and seeing other games are playing, and we didn't have the Chargers game here locally, so it just comes across on the bottom screen, the bottom little scoreboard ticker thing, and they're up 27-7. I'm like, there we go. That's good. Wipe your hands clean on that one. They win. Move on. And then, I don't know, 10 minutes later, rolls across, and it's 27-20. I'm like, oh, what? What happened? What's going on here? Let's not blow this one on the road against the Houston Texans. They didn't. 34-24, I believe the final in that one. They got a nice victory on the road. Never easy on the road in the NFL, but they did. So the Chargers are back to 500, 2-2. And as we mentioned last week, the newest teammate for Easton Stick, Derek Tuska, another pro Bison on that same team. Maybe one of these weeks we should call Easton and just see is Derek around. Can we have both of you on? Or just have Derek on instead of Easton?
Little duo guest action.
Yeah, why not? So 2 pro Bison on that same roster. We'll talk with Easton today at noon. At 11:30, it is the Missouri Valley Mix. This week's opponent, obviously, is Indiana State. So Luke Martin, the play-by-play voice of the Sycamores, will stop by for a few moments. We'll have Luke on, get his take on this game, on this Sycamore squad, where they have come from, where they are going this year. Kurt Mallory, I think, a good coach, someone I respect as a coach, but they have not just fallen on hard times, they've been continuously circling around in hard times, it seems like, for a while. I had that one year in, was it 2018 where they were pretty good, or 2017 where they were pretty good, and we had some high expectations they were going to start turning some things around. Hasn't really been that way, but the Bison making their first trip out to Terre Haute since 2017, and we'll see if the Bison can take care of business. I expect them to out there against the Sycamores, but Luke Martin will stop by at 11:30. Also Brian Sean. B-Sean on the mix this week because UND got a nice win against Missouri State last week at home, and now they go on the road to the team we've both said they're going to upset somebody, and that's Youngstown State. Can UND take the momentum from a big win at home, take it on the road with them at Youngstown against the Penguins, and come up with back-to-back wins in conference? I think it's important that they do, because as we mentioned last week, it was important for them to beat Missouri State because they still got NDSU and SDSU on the schedule. So got to win those games, got to win this one against Youngstown State, because that sets you up really well where you can, not that they want to, but you're able to drop a couple other games throughout the conference schedule. But Youngstown's a team that's going to pick somebody off. I firmly believe that. They can run the ball. They got a couple of really good playmakers on defense, cornerback and defensive end. So they might make that a little bit of a game against UND. So B-Sean on with us about 11:35 or so after we're done talking with Luke Martin. Do you think that's a game UND's got to be on a little bit of a upset alert for that one with the Penguins?
Yeah, I mean, the Penguins last year, 3-7. I kind of think that maybe they're the surprise of the Valley this season. I know that we're still a little bit early in, but I don't think anyone expected Youngstown State to be as good as they've been this year. I'm not putting them down. I mean, they got the tremendous running back there who, over 7,000 yards now. Jaleel McLaughlin now, 7,000 yards, and that's seventh, I think, all-time NCAA. So it's a team that, hey, you may have pegged, not going to do much, bottom of the barrel in the Valley. That's not been the case. They are finding their way out of the Valley and climbing a little bit higher this season, so I'm proud of those guys.
I won't say that till they start winning games in the Valley. 0-1 right now in Valley play, 2-2 overall. UND's a chance, though, for them to beat somebody that has a little bit of pedigree. I don't think UND's the top of the Valley, but they're definitely in the upper middle portion of the Valley, at least at this point of the season for sure. And, hey, if Youngstown State beats UND, next two games, not that any game is an automatic win for Youngstown, but after UND they have home against Indiana State, at Western Illinois. They could get on a little bit of a 3-game winning streak if they can get this one against UND too. So I think a very interesting game to watch, because UND tends to not play the same way on the road as they do at home. Most teams do. That's not really a shocking thing for any college or pro football team. They play better at home. But it's been a little bit more of a wider gap, I think, on the road than at home over the last couple of years. Get B-Sean's take on that one. And hopefully for B-Sean, they can go and pull that one off. But I think it's going to be a very close game out in Youngstown, Ohio.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I can tell you this. Early November, I'll be able to tell you who's good and who's bad. How about that, Andy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, we can't wait until then. We got to make these hot takes and big, bold predictions. Nobody knows about hot takes and bold predictions better than one other person in the studio. Be one Micah Bindi in the back. I remember yesterday the Rams will win the game on Monday night. Oh, okay, sounds good. No, I mean, they will blow out. They will win by 3 scores or more over the 49ers. They will absolutely destroy them. Final score, the 49ers won the game last I checked.
I think you misheard me. I said nope. Niners by 3 scores or more.
Nope, it was Rams. It was definitely Rams.
We didn't record the show yesterday
My
either,
ears
so
don't work perfect, but they work better than that. We're on the Rams.
I think my presence here has been doing something negatively to you, Micah. So, I'll go ahead and just be apologetic. My bad for putting that negative energy on you with that terrible. Because, my Andy's pick'ems have not been great.
I take full responsibility for that pick.
Yeah, don't try and take the blame away. This was all him. He went out on a limb.
Yeah, you're right.
He went on a limb. He took a shot. I appreciate that. Take a shot. Take a swing. When you feel confident, stick to your guns a little bit. He stuck to the guns. But that one was a bad one. The Rams didn't even get in the end zone.
Jimmy G actually played pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And
hopefully you can find Deebo Samuel. He makes like 10 guys miss.
And the Niners defensive line owned the game.
Mm-hmm.
Owned the game. Nick Bosa had double-digit pressures. That's insane.
Yeah.
So they took over the game, and, yeah, when you can't throw to those receivers like Cooper Kupp and Allen Robinson and Tyler Higbee at tight end, yeah, you can't win.
Well, they could throw to Cooper Kupp. They absolutely could throw to Cooper Kupp because he got targeted 18 times. They threw to him 18 times. He had 14 receptions for 122. They threw to Cooper Kupp all they wanted, but is Allen Robinson the most disappointing player? Like, fantasy-wise, I think he's definitely up there. But in the NFL, too, I thought there were some big expectations going from a bad Bears offense where he's never played with a good quarterback, Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky, going to the Rams. They're going to get him open. He hasn't caught on at all. He had 2 catches for 7 yards. I don't think he's been over 20 yards in the game yet.
He had better numbers with the Bears than he does currently with the Rams, when you'd think Sean McVay can get anybody open. But right now, Allen Robinson is looking pretty
average,
and I think people had him way overrated for this year because, well, he's joining a powerhouse offense.
Yeah. That made sense. Made a ton of sense. You know, don't have Odell Beckham. We saw when Odell Beckham Jr. was there, what kind of difference he made. You thought he'd kind of fill in that role. Same thing with Robert Woods, you know, going to Tennessee. You figured he'll kind of fill in the Robert Woods role, and that's pretty good, pretty talented receiver. So,
and I saw a whip route from Robinson and created zero separation. I was like, wow, that looked really slow for an NFL wide receiver. And so it just caught me by surprise that he can't create separation from anybody.
Yeah, they're struggling a little bit outside of Cooper Kupp and Tyler Higbee, who also had 10 receptions himself. As a tight end, 10 receptions. I think it was 12 or 13 targets to Higbee as well. 73 yards. Like, it's good production, but not been the results I think the Rams are hoping for. 2-2, not, you know, sounding any panic alarms, but who has the higher ceiling? Who will be the better team at season's end?
I think it's
49ers or Rams.
The team with the better defense, because the Niners can win some sloppy games because their defense is top 1, top 2.
It's just weird to say the team with the better defense doesn't have Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey.
It's weird, but Nick Bosa
cancels that out. Fred Warner. Yeah.
And they did
Ufanga,
Jimmy Ward,
that safety is great, too.
Did Jimmy Ward play yesterday?
I don't remember.
If he didn't, then they're going to get another piece back from injury.
Well, they also didn't even have Javon Kinlaw, their star defensive tackle, in there, who's almost as good as Nick Bosa at getting to the quarterback. So
DeMeco Ryans is a stud defensive coordinator, so he'll get a job here soon.
Yeah, probably
as
a
head
coaching
coach.
job somewhere, I would think, this year or the next year at the very latest. But yeah, those are 2 good teams. Who's got the better ceiling, Rob? Rams, 49ers, both 2-2.
I don't know. I'm excited about Sunday with the Rams playing the Cowboys.
Okay.
So I don't know. I still think that, I don't know. It's tough, man, because it's like I don't want to say great things about the 49ers just because of, you know, our little connection there with Trey Lance. But I got to kind of put that beside me. They played well unexpectedly, I think, last night. We saw that. But I don't know, man. I still like the Chargers, man.
Well, to your point,
I still like where they're going. So
2 weeks ago, when Jimmy played against the Broncos, he had one of the worst games I've seen in a long time. It was awful. He was better. I don't think he was perfect by any means. Still got some work to do, but he was definitely better in game 2. And again, at home, you have more comfort. Just like I said with UND, it's the same way for players and professional players. At home, you have more of that comfortability, not dealing with the crowd noise. I don't know if they can win a lot of road games. And I don't think they're going to be a team that goes super far because there's some limitations still there. But if they get healthy, get some players back, like the left tackle, Trent Williams, they get Javon Kinlaw back. Trey Lance isn't going to come back. Although I did hear the prognosis on Trey was better than expected. Still going to be out for the whole year here, but not maybe as much damage to that ankle as they originally thought. So should be ready well in advance of training camp and everything else next year. But they get healthy, they're going to be a scary team.
The whole NFC West, 2-2.
Yeah.
It's an open division. I'm taking Seattle.
Darn right.
Start betting on Seattle. I bet the numbers are good for him.
Who'd you rather have, Geno Smith at like $10 million or Russell Wilson at $40-something million?
Take Geno.
Yeah.
Geno right now.
Actually has better stats than Russell Wilson.
What was his quote? They wrote me off, but I didn't write back.
Yeah, one of the reporters after that first game of the season said, yeah, they all wrote you off, and he just said, I didn't write back.
That's a great
legendary
quote.
line.
Tattoo it.
Yeah. I don't think even he didn't plan that or anything. He's just kind of off the cuff, and I didn't write back. So, most well done by Geno. He's one of those players that was drafted super early, kind of like a Ryan Tannehill, where you drafted super early, doesn't work out at your original team, you go somewhere else, and it kind of works out a little bit. I don't think he's going to be a premier starting quarterback by any means, but
it's between that
he's good.
Quality backup and potential starter role. And right now he's proving that he can be a starter in a league on a team that could win more than 8 games.
He's not a bad quarterback. He's doing some things. He's still got some mobility to him, too. He can run around a little bit in the age of the mobile quarterbacks. He kind of fits the mold just a little bit, and less hits, less wear and tear on the body than a lot of the other running quarterbacks out there.
I think he plays within the offense in Seattle more than Russ did, because everybody's like, let Russ cook. Well, Russ ain't cooking much in the kitchen anymore.
Yeah, Geno's cooking, baby. It's all about Geno. I'd go to Geno's for a meatball sub or something. Yeah, for sure. You know, so none of us think the Cardinals can win it with Kyler Murray?
I don't like watching them. They're so boring to watch.
You feel like Cliff Kingsbury's on the hot seat? I kind of feel like he could be.
He's not a great head coach.
They better make the playoffs and make a
good
little bit of a
offensive
run.
mind, but listen, I don't know.
They've started really hot the last couple of years and then cooled way off. Now they're kind of they're mediocre. They're 2-2. They've won some games you probably feel like they shouldn't. They've lost some games they probably feel like they shouldn't. Like most 2-2 teams. But if they don't continue to get better and they kind of regress throughout the season again, I could see them going to a different coach.
Yeah, Michael Wago said they're boring to watch. I'll kind of agree, except the game where they played there, Las Vegas. I mean, that was a fun game. They come back in overtime. That was a fun, exciting game to watch.
Kyler Murray's not boring to watch.
Kyler Murray's fun to watch.
Outside of that, everything else has been pretty meh.
And I think, back to Cliff Kingsbury, he's not the greatest situational coach that we've seen in past years. So they might get out-coached from time to time. So the losses might stack up for him, especially in a division where they have good coaches, Pete Carroll, Kyle Shanahan, Sean McVay.
Do remember, though, they will be getting DeAndre Hopkins back in a couple of weeks. Then you got DeAndre Hopkins and Marquise Brown, and probably makes that offense maybe a little bit more exciting to watch. More of those deep shots down the field as well, and you got two of those extremely electrifying receivers. So yeah, next time you make a bet or you make a prediction, we're gonna put something on it for you.
Yeah, you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Hold me to it.
And it gives you the Andy Rickoff treatment when I was back there. Of I can't make my predictions. I got to have something attached to it. So
I wouldn't mind dyeing my hair. I think that'd be kind of fun.
Sounds good.
Frosted tips.
That's the next one. Yeah, frosted tips. Do you have any bets? Anything you feel confident about this week?
Not yet.
Give you some time.
Maybe. Maybe sometime soon.
We'll give you some time. You are the king of the parlays, so you can make a parlay bet.
Losing the parlays, king of losing the parlays.
I haven't won any of them, but you love to make those parlay bets. Speaking of betting, our game week sponsor of NDSU and Indiana State, Dakota Nation Sportsbook, down there in Dakota Nation Sports or Dakota Nation Casino as well, Dakota Magic Casino, but Dakota Nation Sportsbook. That is our game week sponsor of NDSU and Indiana State. And they also want to let you know you can bet on the Dakota Marker game this year at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. NDSU and SDSU being played next weekend down over in the Fargo Dome for that Dakota Marker. You can bet. You just go a little bit south from here. If you're coming up from South Dakota, a little bit north from where you're at, you can bet on the Dakota Marker game at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. And also, they've got their football board going on all October long. The first 100 rewards players members that place a $5 bet or more with a representative at the counter at the sportsbook get their name on the football board for a chance to win $500 cash, to give away $500 every Sunday during October. Got a couple of those ones left. 4 times here in October. So make sure you get on that football board. Make sure you're a rewards players member as well at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. And after you place the bet, you can stay there as well. Some great big video boards to watch all the games, not just the game, but you're probably betting on a couple things down there. I know I would be. So you can watch all the games down there. Great food, great drink as well. So Dakota Nation Sportsbook, a great place to go down and have a good time. And also our game week sponsor of NDSU and Indiana State. You excited for another day in Paradise? Your first trip out to Memorial Stadium?
Yeah.
Heard any stories yet?
I'm looking forward to it. When we talk to Easton a little bit later today, I'm going to ask him because he was there the last time we were there in 2017. Yeah. He racked up over 250 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns, a career day for him then. So, yeah, I'll ask him about it. But I looked at the stadium, Memorial Stadium there. Looks like the visiting side that there's no stands. I think it's all on the home side, if I'm not mistaken, from what I saw in pictures. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I've never been there. So I think it's going to be a pretty unique atmosphere and take me back a little bit, man, to my early broadcasting days.
Yeah, you got a little bit of that hill atmosphere. People kind of sit on the hill from what I remember, at least last time we were out there. So not necessarily something we are going to have a ton of fans. It's going to be very different, I think, than what NDSU has experienced, obviously at home. Clearly the Arizona game was a crazy atmosphere, a step way up. And then you've also got that game against USD where maybe there weren't quite as many fans, but probably about 5 to 6 times the amount of fans you're going to have this week in Terre Haute. I mean, you got to bring your own energy, right? That's what they always say. That's what the coaches say. That's what the players will say. You got to bring your own energy, create that atmosphere. You need those guys that, like a Tyler Roll, like a coach, where you just, why are you acting so crazy? What's up with the yelling and the screaming? It's like, I'm trying to pump people up. You got to bring your own energy and be pumped up on those sidelines and be locked in right from the get-go. I don't think this is a good Indiana State team, but they battled UNI on the road in Cedar Falls last week. And say what you want about UNI, we know that's a proud program, and Indiana State gave them all they could handle. So I know the Sycamores, like every team, they'll get up for NDSU. Like that's the game everyone says we want to knock off the Bison. If we can do that, for some teams like an Indiana State, season good, accomplished, mission accomplished on the season. Maybe we don't make the playoffs or anything, but hey, you knocked off NDSU. That's a pretty darn good accomplishment. Nice little feather in your cap. So they're going to give NDSU all they can handle.
You talk about guys getting you fired up, and you just mentioned Coach Roll. At the home games, he walks right behind us coming in there. We're already going with pregame, and then the coaches come in. He's in the booth next to us. Every week, his fist bump with me gets a little bit stronger, so don't be surprised by about week 8 or so. You may notice like some padding or something on my knuckles there, because that guy gets me fired up to broadcast. He walks in, "What's up, Rob?" and just, pounds the living daylights out of my hand, and it's going to get worse every week, and something I look forward to.
I put a glove on.
Yeah.
Can't imagine what the first playoff game will feel like on your hand.
A couple broken knuckles coming back.
You might want to hold off. Maybe go high five or something. Just elbow bumper. Probably don't go chest bump. Might knock you out of the booth.
Just don't do anything.
Yeah, just say hi.
Yeah, that's it.
A wave, nice cordial wave, or a tip of the cap for Tyler Roll. Got some energy to him, and we absolutely love that about Coach Roll. Last night, Bison Football Radio Show, the head coach, Matt Entz, and you. And obviously that's every Monday, 6:30 to 8. You can listen to that right here on Bison 1660 and the Pioneer Seed Bison Radio Network. But what do you take away from Coach last night on the radio show?
I think a lot of what he taught every week, it just seems that things are getting better. I know that there's been some penalties, but that got cleaned up at least in the first half. And then we saw a little bit more out of Cam Miller as far as the ball distribution going. Not the running game. It was proficient as it always is, but also getting involved in that passing game. We talked about Joe Stuffle. He had a career-high 4 receptions in that ball game. He continues to improve. Coach talked about some of the younger guys, too, that are starting to step up. And then I think, too, is every game it's that next man-up mentality. If somebody is not doing as good as maybe they should be doing, there's going to be another guy that's the next man-up mentality that Coach talked about. So I'm enjoying through the first 5 games, seeing the progression. It's easy to kind of look and say, oh, we didn't do this right or didn't do this right, but let's start focusing on what we are doing right, continuing to build upon that, and I'm seeing a lot of progress with this team, and Coach talked about it last night.
7 different receivers getting a reception in that game against Youngstown State. Joe Stuffle, though, 4 receptions, 52 yards, had the most yards and the most receptions of anybody on the team, so I know we lose Noah, and that's a big loss, and he's a very, very talented player, but it looks like Joe is ready to take on that role a little bit because the tight end is important, not just for the running game, but for Cam Miller, I feel like that tight end, that safety valve is something it's like a security blanket, that thing you just need with you. And, when you lose a guy like Noah, who I know Cam trusted a lot, now thankfully he's worked with Joe a lot in practice, but you're happy that Joe has so far been really reliable and a target that I think Cam's already got a pretty good rapport with and he can really trust.
Yeah, there's good chemistry between those. And again, Andy, I go right back to what I just said, the next man up mentality. Gendorf goes out, Joe Stuffle stepped up, he's the next man up, and he's filling that role the way that he should, and he's doing a great job.
Talk a lot about Cam Miller, and clearly because he's a starting quarterback, and I do think he had a better game, 13 of 18, 145, no interceptions in that game. It took a couple of sacks, but overall, really good performance, I thought, from Cam. I thought it was a step in the right direction. How about the other quarterback, Cole Payton? And everybody talks about the running plays, the quarterback run, the formations with Cole in there, or when Cole and Cam are both in there at the same time as well. And we want to see him throw. We can't keep running Cole. We got to see him throw. And I know we talked about this yesterday with Phil a little bit too. Did you get a sense at all, talking with Coach, of, hey, is that something that's going to be on the horizon at all?
No, from what Coach said, he's like, look, we haven't needed him to throw right now. He's filled in that role of running the ball the way that they've designed it for him. He has not needed to pass the ball so far. So that's what I like about this team. They're not going to force things to happen just to make them happen. They're going to continue pounding the ball away and doing what wins games. And Coach even said, he's like, look, sometimes maybe it doesn't look pretty, but this is football. This is the way we do it. This is the way that it works, and this is the way we win games, and it's successful. As a fan, not just a guy calling the games, I like our style of football. I like seeing that power. I like seeing the running game. I don't need the big explosive offensive plays to be excited. What I need at the end of the day is to know our guys gave 110% effort and that they did everything that they could, and luckily they come out on the winning end more times than not. But that's all I want to see as a fan. Did you give your best effort, and did you try everything you could to win a ball game? That's what I like to see.
Overall, I thought a good performance by NDSU, and now you shift focus and you go and take on Indiana State this week. Again, kickoff is at noon on Saturday, so a little bit earlier than we've had in the previous games here. Just an hour earlier than the last 2 games, but at noon, which means 11 o'clock for the network. Means we get going on Saturday morning at 6 o'clock in the morning with the Bison Report Show, Bison Tailgate Show, Bison Game Day, and then network pregame with you, Phil, and Cole out there in Terre Haute. Want everyone to be a part of the show today as well. You can text us or call us, 701-476-1660, the Epic Companies hotline, open for you today. Want you to be a part of the show. You can also email us, studio@bison1660.com. That's the Rick Electric email inbox. And you can watch us live on our Facebook page, Bison 1660 on Facebook. You can watch all the shows live there on our Facebook page. Facebook Live videos courtesy of Horsch, Farming with Passion, online at horsch.com, HORSCH.com. Hello, nice wave to everybody out there watching us. You can comment below there as well and give us any questions, comments, or thoughts from the last game, maybe questions about Indiana State. You want to know something about the Sycamores, feel free to ask those ones as well. Or you just want to rip Micah for his awful prediction of Monday Night Football last night, you can also do that. We're all for it. So
yeah, I'm all for it too.
Yeah,
bring it on.
Mm-hmm. Bring it on. More the merrier. The other good thing was the streaker from last night. We will be getting to that a little bit later on too. And Rob's going to give us another edition of news that nobody cares about.
Already got that cooking, man. I think that's our new Tuesday. We're going to make that an every Tuesday segment
Every Tuesday, news that nobody cares about.
And really, it's because everyone wants to hear Andy sing the segue into that.
Yep.
So eventually we're going to get that professionally mastered, but for now you'll just have to deal with Andy singing it.
Yeah, as long as I'm doing it, it's not professional. Nothing professional if I'm doing it there. No doubt about it. One thing that is professional are the two guys we're going to have on here in just a little bit. Brian Sean and Luke Martin. We'll have those two guys on. Talk Indiana State and UND next when we come back on the Missouri Valley Mix.
Your home for the Thundering Herd. Bison 1660.
We take great pride in really doing all the research and the work behind the scenes to make sure that our products just work.
We have our own staff member that helps pick the hybrids and the varieties that work in our area. It's meant for you, not for somebody 200 miles away.
We test our seed locally. We produce our seed locally, so we get to see our production fields, where they need to be, and if they work there.
Need seed? Think ProSeed. ProSeed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
When it comes to your electrical needs, you only need one call, and that's to JDP Electric. Whether it's a small residential project or a larger commercial job, JDP's team of professionals will work with you closely to make the process easy. Their dedicated team of professionals can assist with any size project or idea you may have, and even provide a few ideas they see that fit your budget as well. Call 232-1991 today to experience the JDP difference, or online at jdpelectric.net.
Are you ready for game time? Football and Fireball is a match made in heaven. And by heaven, of course, we mean Twin Peaks. Spice things up next game day with a shot of their favorite cinnamon whiskey. But first, kick off your game day with brunch. Get a good base to cheer on your favorite team. Brunch is now being served at your local Twin Peaks. Wake up with the scratch favorites you love and classic brunch drinks that won't break the bank. Contact Twin Peaks for availability and more details. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Businesses should know the Consolidated Communications has the only data center in the FM area that is SOC 2 certified. That means Consolidated has tested reliable systems in place to protect your valuable data. That's more important than ever with today's security concerns. Many business insurance companies require SOC certification at data storage facilities. You should work with a local data center that is SOC 2 certified. For scalable, cost-effective data center solutions for your changing business needs, go to consolidated.com/data center.
Tired of your real estate goals getting blocked? Let Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty serve up your next big move in real estate. Todd's expertise in the Fargo-Moorhead area means he's the one to line up the perfect shot. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today at 701-371-4234 or visit him at Beyond Realty, 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time.
October 15th, a rivalry with roots dating back to 1903 will be played for the 113th time. It's NDSU versus SDSU. Pick your side at Dakota Nation Sportsbook at Dakota Magic Casino. For the first time ever, you can place bets on the Dakota Marker game at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Watch the game on their massive video board and ask about weekend promotions to win up to $500 in cash and prizes. It's green and gold versus the yellow and blue. Place your bets at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. For more, go to dakotamagic.com.
2 hours of sports talk every weekday, 11 to 1.
Well. Oh, my gracious.
Now, let's get back to the insiders.
Davidson in the gun. McLaughlin the back to his left. Two receivers to either side on the right hash mark. Pressure coming and slammed him down on a sack, and that should do it. With the dagger here in this ball game,
And it should end on a Northern bag-and-box quarterback sack.
It sure did end on that one. A couple of sacks in that game for Code Green. Also an interception, good defensive performance. And that's one of our Jim Beam plays of the game, the Jim Beam Smooth play of the game. Jim Beam has bourbon for every palate, whether you want the smooth, classic Kentucky straight bourbon, the tangy new Jim Beam Orange, which is great with cranberry juice, we found out, and a new canned cocktail, the classic highball or ginger highball. Jim Beam, the world's #1 bourbon. Please drink responsibly. Well, let's go over to the Epic Companies hotline right now. It's a Tuesday, which means it's time to talk Missouri Valley football on the Missouri Valley Mix.
The Missouri Valley Mix. The Indiana State Sycamores.
Let's talk some Sycamores football. For that, we bring on their play-by-play voice, Luke Martin, nice enough to give us some time. Luke, how you doing today?
It is a beautiful day in Terre Haute, Indiana, Andy and Rob. So good to be with you both. And, disappointing that Sycamores just came up short, over the weekend, but it was a phenomenal effort on the road in a building they've only won once all time in the Unidome. They tried to change that on Saturday to win for the first time in that building since 1988. Just couldn't finish drives, couldn't get touchdowns, got field goals instead of much-needed touchdowns, and that's why the Sycamores came up on the wrong end of that one on Saturday.
Hey, great to have you on with us. I was going to mention that game right off the top. A close game, you battled with them. Weren't able to get over the hump. What were the reasons they just weren't able to quite pull that one off against a UNI team that's pretty physical and a pretty proud program?
Oh, I kind of alluded to it. Just not finishing drives. Indiana State, it was such a fast first quarter, guys. UNI, their opening drive, got them in a 3rd down and 15 deep on their own side of the field. They convert, got 15.5 yards on that first down, and they just kept rolling, and they ultimately scored. Then Indiana State's first crack at the football had it with right around the 12-minute mark in the first quarter. The drive didn't end until a field goal attempt at the start of the second quarter. I mean, Indiana State took the air out of the football. They ball-controlled offense very well against UNI. That's why that game stayed close, was competitive. Indiana State converted on multiple 4th downs. They converted on 3rd down by far by the best any margin all year long. So they kept drives alive. They sustained those drives. And most importantly, the only turnover in the game, Andy, was the interception at the very end when Gavin Screws tried to make a play happen to Dante Hendricks on a drive that could have ultimately possibly won the game for Indiana State. But they had a drive at the 2-yard line at UNI's 2, knocking on the doorstep of getting into the end zone, got no points.
Hey, Lou.
They recovered it. Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, man.
No, you're good. Got to the 2-yard line, was unable to get any points. They recovered an onside kick. I think only got a field goal out of that opportunity as well. They did things well, but they just were not able to finish drives.
Awesome. Hey, Luke, Rob Hipp here. Good to have you on, man. And that kind of led into the next question. You mentioned Gavin Screws. I think he had a season high so far, 174 yards, 18 to 28 passing. Did have that interception. There's been a little bit. I always want to talk positive of the guys, but I did want to bring up. It seems that there's been a little bit of instability at that quarterback position. Some rotations going there. Is Gavin kind of standing out to be that lead guy, or can we still expect multiple quarterbacks in the game?
You can expect multiple quarterbacks in the game. There's no question about that, Rob, come Saturday. Indiana State, and Coach Mallory said it from the start. Now, I think the fans on the outside will say, well, the reason you're saying you have 3 quarterbacks is because you don't have one. But he truly believes that he's got 3 guys that they can throw out at multiple different situations. One guy I'm kind of anxious to see maybe get thrown in there this week. We haven't seen Michael Hoppert this year. Michael Hoppert was in the Wildcat package and featured a ton a year ago. He's been battling through some different injuries. He's been getting back into practice. I'm kind of anxious to see if this will be the week that he gets used and maybe gets thrown in there as well. But for your job, Rob, you better be on your toes because come Saturday, you really have to pay attention to the certain situations, certain down and distance. You'll see Cade Chambers. You will see Gavin Screws. You will see Evan Elias and maybe even throw Michael Hoppert in there this week. So there's going to be multiple different guys that will get in that backfield. And I feel to answer your question, Gavin is the best quarterback as of now in terms of throwing the football. But it still has areas to go. Turnovers have been a big issue for Gavin early on this season. And that's why there has been at times different rotations. But I also think Indiana State's trying to get any sort of advantage offensively, Rob, and just keeping defenses honest and keeping them on their balance to where, all right, there's a different guy in the game. not everyone's well scouted at this point, just to try to get some sort of advantage in that regard to playing different guys.
You mentioned that quarterback rotation there, and I think Gavin Screws, Michael Hopper, Cade Chambers, the other name that fans might hear on Saturday. I believe against UNI, Cade only had 1 completion, 2 attempts. It seems like Gavin is the guy that they trust throwing the ball. Do you see much of a throwing threat with the other two, or is it mostly that quarterback run game?
Well, so far this year, Cade Chambers, when he's come in, it's been in short yardage situations. So it's been 3rd down and 2, 3rd down and 1, or 4th down and 1, like there was in the Unidome twice. And he's our tallest quarterback, and he's our most physical quarterback in terms of strength. So a lot of times when he's come in, he's been the new version of the Wildcat, I guess you could say, where he's typically going to keep it himself or just try to get those short yardage situations. Now, Cade, heading into the spring, was the favorite in the quarterback competition, guys. You go back in the spring ball, Cade was listed as the starter. And actually, you look at our first fall camp depth chart, Cade was also listed as the starter and the favorite in the first depth chart. So they have belief in Cade Chambers. I feel like, and I think Cade would be honest, I think he lost his confidence, and I think he's trying to gain a little bit of that back. That 1 completion that he had on Saturday was Dante Hendricks, which kept the drive moving. Cade has the capability to throw the football. He was a talented high school quarterback in Tennessee. He can do it. He just hasn't necessarily shown it yet at Indiana State, but he can throw it. Evan Elias, who's come in at times, has been more of kind of a running threat. But there are throwing opportunities, I feel, for those guys, Andy. Just right now, they haven't necessarily been asked to do that yet. But be prepared. I mean, those guys can easily, I think, be called upon to throw, especially the good targets like a Dante Hendricks.
Look, I think that, the record, too, sitting at 1-3, I want to remind folks, Purdue it's not like some cookie-cutter team for you guys. I know that it was a shutout game there, but they played 2 top 25 teams this season, and then Montana's another team that's just, you're not going to come in and say, hey, this is going to be one of these games that we're going to come in and dominate. These have been 2 pretty tough teams for you guys to get started, so I don't think that 1-3 record really is indicative of where you're at.
You're exactly right, Rob. When Andy and Jeff had me on in the spring, and they were kind of asking me to preview the fall, I told them both here on the Insiders that Indiana State can be a significantly better football team, and the record just not show it. And I can tell you, Rob, from just watching this team last weekend and seeing how they progressed through the year, and also even towards the tail end of last year, I feel like this team is much better than a year ago. And I think the North Dakota State team, granted this game is going to be in Terre Haute and not the Fargo Dome, I feel this Indiana State team that North Dakota State will see on Saturday is going to be vastly improved than the one they saw a year ago in the Fargo Dome. That record is not... It is an indicator of where you're at compared to the elite of your schedule, to the elite of your level. Indiana State has not lost to anybody they're not supposed to lose to. They haven't beaten anybody that they're not supposed to beat yet. They know areas where they have to get better, Rob, but you're exactly right. I feel like this is a much better team than what their record indicates. And I hope that on Saturday, granted it's going to be an extremely difficult challenge, it's going to be tough to just be competitive in this game on Saturday because of how good North Dakota State has been against Indiana State in recent years. But it would go a long way for Indiana State if they can just find a way to make North Dakota State feel any sort of pressure on Saturday in that game and feel like they have to make plays late to win. I feel like if Indiana State can do that, I know the team can't think this way. The team's mindset is we're going for the upset, we're going to win. And I know they're probably not happy that I'm talking kind of in moral victory territory here, but I feel like for Indiana State, from my angle, how I look at it, is can you apply pressure? Can you make North Dakota State feel any sort of pressure on Saturday? If you do that, I feel like you're making major strides, and not that the schedule ever dips in this league, but if you can make North Dakota State feel some pressure, I feel like there's going to be a chance that you can go on a run here the second half of the season.
About the player on the defensive side, for your last question, Luke. Again, Luke Martin with us, the play-by-play voice for Indiana State. Jeffrey Brown, pretty good linebacker for you, 6'1", 230, a sophomore, younger player, but making an impact so far. 2 sacks, 3.5 tackles for loss, coming off that 2-sack game against UNI. What kind of player has he been on the defensive side?
Oh, Jeffrey's been great. He was a walk-on, to this program, and now earned a scholarship. Jeffrey's been, those 2 sacks changed that whole complexion of UNI's drive when they were driving up 7-3. They were deep in the Indiana State territory, back-to-back sacks, and then Rylan Cole got an interception to really kind of flip that for Indiana State and keep the offense attacking on Northern Iowa early in that game. I feel like two names that you're going to hear a lot. Jeffrey's going to be one of them on Saturday. I'm telling you, Rylan Cole, he missed the Montana game due to an injury he got against Purdue. He still wears a club right now on his right hand. He is electric, guys. I mean, Rylan is the best defensive player I feel like we have had in terms of always being around the ball since Jonas Griffith played for us, and he's starting for the Broncos. I mean, Rob, you can just close your eyes on Saturday, I promise you, and you don't even have to look about who's near the ball. If you just say Rylan Cole on the tackle or near the tackle, you're going to be right. That's where Rylan Cole is. He is a fantastic player to watch, and even with only one hand right now, he's got all 3 interceptions this year for the Indiana State defense, 2 against North Alabama, and then 1 last week.
Luke, always appreciate it. Thanks for a little insight into this Indiana State program. Looking forward to a noon kickoff on Saturday over there at Memorial Stadium.
I appreciate it. Get the better voice on and Brian Sean anyways. Get me on my way and get the actual pro on here to talk some Valley football. All right. Appreciate you guys. Look forward to meeting you this weekend, Rob. Thank you, guys.
You got it, Luke. Thank you.
I didn't say it. Luke did. He can say that if he wants to. Brian Sean, yes, let's go right on over. How about UND? Talk some UND Fighting Hawks football with Brian Sean. Their TV voice for Midcoast Sports. Nice enough to give us some time as well. B. Sean, great to have you on, sir. Appreciate you holding on the line there for a little bit. And a pro's pro. Luke said it himself there.
Yeah, Luke is a really good dude. He's a really good friend. I'm looking forward to seeing him here next month when we head out to Terre Haute for the game, too. We had a chance to catch up and have some apps and drinks the last time Indiana State was here last fall in Fargo. So that was really fun. He's a good dude, and make no mistake, man, he is a pro's pro. He's a good guy, and I'm looking forward to catching up with him here in a bit.
Now, you're a good dude, too, and that football team you're calling is looking like a good football team, too, and they've got a nice win against UNI on the schedule, and now a very nice win against Missouri State, a game that was a 1-point game at half. UND comes out and scores 28 points in the second half against Missouri State and upsets the Bears up in Grand Forks. What were the adjustments made, or were there adjustments made in the second half that allowed them just to be so electric on offense with 28 in the second half?
Well, I think it started at the end of the first half. Missouri State was up 21-10 after a turnover. They had taken it in, and all of a sudden things were looking good. And then North Dakota in 2 plays went 70 yards in answer in like 20 seconds. And then just like that, the momentum just swung so quickly. And then a quick 3-and-out by Missouri State, and North Dakota got the ball back and chipped in a field goal right at the end of the half. And it felt like that really deflated Missouri State. And even Bobby Petrino said yesterday in his press conference that I didn't really like our body language, at halftime. Our guys were not feeling very good about only being up 21-20. And I think that just carried over. They didn't play very well, I didn't feel like, in the second half. I do feel like North Dakota came out on fire. I thought defensively they played much better in the second half. They helped Missouri State without a third down conversion. That was significant. That's been an issue a little bit for North Dakota, but I thought they really got after them. They really played well. Offensive line probably played its best game, and when you put 550 yards up against that defense, you've got to feel really good about what you're able to do both on the ground and through the air. So good momentum, good game, good finish to the game. Now we'll just see how it all shakes out this weekend once they get back on the road.
Hey, Brian, Rob Hipp here. Good to chat with you finally, man. And I wanted to start by saying congratulations on your Sportscaster of the Year award a year ago. I know you do tremendous work, so it's good to have you on as always, man.
Hey, no, it's good to be with you, Rob. We haven't had a chance to catch up, man. I hope everything's going good in your first month here.
Yeah, so you mentioned earlier a little bit about the momentum and now facing a Youngstown State team. You haven't been there, man, since the 1960s, early 1961. How do you kind of carry on that momentum into that ball game against a team in Youngstown State that we've said on this show, and we saw it firsthand, much improved from a year ago?
Yeah, Youngstown's better. I mean, I was impressed. They play really, really hard. I think Coach Phillips has done a really good job there, overhauling that roster and getting those kids to buy into what they want to do. They want to be a physical team. They want to run the ball. I respect that. He didn't take any shortcuts. He didn't bring in 50 transfers and try to do all these different things just to win immediately. He's building it the way he wants to build it, and I think that's the right way to do it. And I think over the course of the next few years, you're going to see Youngstown continue to get better and better. In terms of North Dakota, this is the challenge for UND. It is playing with the same energy on the road as they have at home, and they've yet really to shown they can do that consistently. And it's just going to be a matter of whether or not they can come out and play as fast as they did. I thought defensively they were a totally different team at home. There's a reason why they are 11-1 against Valley opponents since 2016 at the Alaris Center, and they just play a step faster. Now they have to find a way to do that, and they feel like they're a mature enough football team to take that step. It's just a matter of whether or not they can get it done this weekend, and ultimately it's going to come down to can they stop the run and can they run the football. I think whatever team can run the ball more effectively is going to come out on top, but they got to get off to a faster start than what they have the last couple of weeks. That has been an Achilles heel, is falling behind early and taking a while to find their groove. They can't do that, find themselves chasing points like they were at SIU 2 weeks ago.
And Brian Sean here with us. And B-Sean, we've said that this is an important game for a couple of reasons, but mainly because UND, Youngstown State's a team that could upset somebody, I think, on the top of the valley. I don't know who that team is, but they could upset somebody. But also UND's, you still got SDSU, you still got NDSU on the schedule. So you want to make sure you win this one. Don't want to drop 2 early season games in conference play. For the entire slate of the season, how important is this one, do you think, for the Fighting Hawks and just playoff chances and everything?
Well, I think it's significant. I mean, you gotta try to get these wins where you can get them, where you feel like you can. And the other part of that too is, if you win this game, how much better does your bye week feel than if you lose it? You know what I mean? It's one of those situations where if you can pull off a road win and say we can win a Valley road game, that just carries so much confidence and momentum going into your bye week before South Dakota State comes to town on the 22nd. And then you're like, hey, we're catching FDSU making back-to-back trips to North Dakota after playing in Fargo. We got to feel really good about our chances in this game, too, of coming out and playing well and giving them all we can. So I do think I thought last week was a very pivotal game for Missouri State and for North Dakota, and I think this week is just as pivotal. There's a big difference between being 4-2 going into your bye and 3-3. So, they got to find a way to bottle it up and bring it, and I think we'll find out whether they're ready to take this step. I do feel like they are a more mature football team. I feel like the line of scrimmage, they're getting better every week, especially on the offensive side. It's just going to be a matter, can you contain that running back, man? He's a slippery dude, and he plays really tough, and he's tough to tackle, and you got to find a way to slow him down, and that's going to be the challenge.
I was literally just going to mention that Jaleel McLaughlin, they're extremely talented running back for Youngstown. We just got done seeing him run for 150 on NDSU, and also is a huge factor for them in the passing game too. How do you think UND will go about trying to limit his touches and limit his productiveness?
Well, I mean, you got to know where he is at all times, and the thing about him that I like is he's 5'9", 183, and he plays like he's 6'2", 215. I mean, he plays hard. Like, he runs through the smoke. He's a lot stronger than you think he is when you see him physically. He just tough kid, fleet of foot, really good vision, knows where to find cutback lanes. They don't do anything crazy or wild in their scheme, but what they do, man, it works, and it's impressive. So you got to slow him down, try to get them in third and long, because I think if you do that, you might be able to get after their quarterback a little bit. And I'm not sure which guy we'll even see on Saturday based on what happened in Fargo on this past weekend. But I really do think it's going to be I really do think that's going to be the main key is he's going to get his, but you can't let him bust up a bunch of 30 and 40-yard runs all day.
I'm right there with you. You got to try and bottle him up. He's a very talented player, though. Easier said than done. B-Sean, always appreciate it. Thanks for giving us a little bit of time, and looking forward to seeing that game against Youngstown State. Think it should be a good one.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been to old Youngstown.
Yeah.
It was the old Bo Pelini days when he got like 3 unsportsmanlike penalties in the fourth quarter out there. So that was never an experience I'll ever forget. The last time I was there, 5-6 years ago, whatever that was.
Doug Phillips is a little less entertaining to watch on the sidelines, I'll tell you that.
For sure, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks.
There you go, B-Sean. Brian Shaw, nice enough to give us some time. Midcoast Sports TV voice of UND. That's our Missouri Valley Mix, brought to you each and every Tuesday by Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. He's the official realtor of NDSU Athletics as well. When it's time to be moved, Todd Cattermas is here to assist you with all your real estate needs. Call 701-371-4234 or stop by 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty, moving the herd one home at a time. Think that one, again, upset alert, Youngstown State, UND, that's a great game, I think, in the Valley. SDSU and USD, also a rivalry game this week in Valley play. And how about Missouri State and Southern Illinois? There's a couple of really, really good games. This is one of those weeks where you look at the schedule and like, there's a lot of fun games to kind of watch.
Yeah, and compared to last week, there wasn't. So this week, a lot of fun. And one thing I didn't get a chance to ask Brian, but you look at North Dakota's schedule, and then coming up at the end of the month, they're hosting Abilene Christian, so a little non-conference game kind of thrown in right in the middle of the mix.
They had their conference game against UNI in week 2.
Yeah, so they threw that in later on in the season. I'm excited to see how that one's going to turn out. We played Abilene Christian when I was at Sam Houston quite a bit, and that's a good school. It's a good opponent to have, and that'll kind of be a litmus test there as we go through the end of October.
It's a school you know a little bit more about as well.
A little bit, yep.
Abilene Christian. I actually know the play-by-play voice down there as well, Abilene Christian, with one Zach Carlisle. So a fun show here today for you. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap up hour number 1. How about hour number 2? We'll kick things off with Easton Stick. I think that sounds pretty good. But we'll come back, wrap up the first hour, and a whole lot more here for you on the Insiders on a Tuesday.
North Dakota State football plays here. Bison 1660.
We interrupt your music to bring you this breaking news. There's so much to do in Perham, Minnesota.
Explore Minnesota in Perham, Minnesota for fall activities. From hiking, biking, shopping, walking, parks, picnics, restaurants, breweries, live music, golfing, fishing, boating, corn maze, pumpkin picking, and more. Or just listen to the loons next to the campfire. Discover Perham at Perham.com. That's Perham.com.
The Bison Hotline post-game show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
Bourbon lovers are a distinctive group, embracing the differences from other spirits, all while expecting the rich variation of a good whiskey. That's why the Fistful of Bourbon folks, who have over 100 years of whiskey blending experience, are born to serve to those lovers of good bourbon, creating the masterpiece of blending 5 distinct bourbon whiskeys, sweet, balanced, and floral, with notes of cinnamon and licorice and buttery toffee. Fistful of Bourbon delivers a smooth, rich, full-fisted flavor like all top-shelf bourbon whiskeys should. See it all at fistfulofbourbon.com. Please consume Fistful of Bourbon responsibly.
Rice Companies understands that strong buildings and strong communities start with strong connections. They know the importance of every bolt, every beam, and every handshake. Every connection must be strong. When you work with Rice Companies, you're building on more than concrete and steel. You're building on knowledge and expertise with people you can trust. People who value your investment as much as you do. Connect with Rice Companies, your local Butler builder, and experience the difference strong connections can make for your business. Learn more and see career opportunities at ricecompanies.com.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
Been a mostly cloudy day in the Red River Valley. 40% chance of some showers throughout the rest of the day as well, and we will cool down into the low 50s. A 20% chance of thunderstorms mainly after 9 p.m. Mostly sunny and back into the mid-70s on Wednesday. This weather update brought to you by FM Truck Sales. If you're looking for good, clean work trucks for any size job, check out FM Truck Sales in Moorhead. FM Truck Sales is locally owned with a great staff. Check them out at fmtrucksales.net.
The 2022-23 NDSU basketball and wrestling seasons are fast approaching, and there's never been a better time to reserve season tickets so you don't have to miss any of the action. Basketball season tickets start as low as $100, and wrestling season tickets are only $75. All new season tickets are on sale now. To reserve your season ticket, visit gobison.com/tickets or call the ticket office during the week at 701-231-6378.
Missed portions of today's show? Go to Bison1660.com to listen to the podcast or find us on Facebook and Twitter at Bison1660.
Back in with you on the Insiders, a Tuesday edition of the show. We're here with you inside our Tharaldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Tharaldson Ethanol produces 175 million gallons of ethanol per year and roughly 400 tons of livestock feed per year. Great company all around. Tharaldson Ethanol is also a proud partner with Summit Carbon Solutions, helping reduce the carbon footprint by capturing, transporting, and permanently storing CO2 emissions, cutting the carbon intensity in half. You can fuel your future by joining their growing team today at tharaldsonethanol.com. NBA preseason stuff going on. I see the Wolves versus the Lakers NBA preseason on ESPN Thursday, 10 p.m. Let's go. Howell at the moon for the Wolves. Let's go. I think they're even projected as the 4th best team in the West, so way over projected. It's great.
Yeah, we'll see if they meet that 4th overall projection in the West.
Yeah.
I'm not a big believer in that. I think they're obviously a playoff team because they're super talented, but 4th, I don't think so.
Much of a basketball fan, Rob? Really?
Yeah, huge. Big Spurs fan. And
yeah.
So when I think of the T-Wolves, I was actually just about to ask you, all those years, T-Wolves, so great, Kevin Garnett, and then they met the Spurs. And it was every single year, it just seems like you hit the roadblock. And I have...
Well, for us, it's the Lakers. That's who I have in my memory as the roadblock.
Well, it was the Spurs, too. And it was... And
Spurs a couple of years.
And I remember I had so much respect, though, for Flip Saunders. I mean, I still think... Look, I'm a big Spurs fan. I love Greg Popovich and what he's done, but I really always liked Flip Saunders. I love the energy that he had. I always felt bad for the guy because he had such great teams, but they could just never get there. And I wanted to see Flip get one or two. I really did, man.
Mm-hmm. He was a great coach and good person. It was fun to see Ryan Saunders back there with the team. Unfortunately, the passing of Flip a number of years back. But, yeah, I remember one of my first ever basketball memories was actually going to a Timberwolves game, and Kevin Garnett, a turnaround jumper fadeaway over David Robinson at the buzzer and won the game.
Yeah.
In regular season.
Yeah.
My first memories of basketball.
And for a guy to do that, and David Robinson, by the way, for everyone out there, that is the guy that this isn't the news no one cares about segment, but it is probably news no one cares about. But David Robinson is my all-time favorite athlete. I just got to watch him a lot down there in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome back in the day, and
Admiral.
And the Twin Towers, man. It was just one of the best duos in NBA history, in my opinion.
Best thing they ever did was have that season right before drafting Tim Duncan, where they were terrible.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
They got Tim Duncan, and that one turned around the franchise, and for a long, long time, too, and then Popovich and Manu and Tony Parker. But Timberwolves fans ever since, so the reason I remember the Lakers as that roadblock is because the year where the Wolves really loaded up was Sprewell, Cassell, and you had everybody there. Then it was the Lakers, and it was Kobe and Shaq that kept beating them every single year in the playoffs. So that one stands out to me. And since then, they've been garbage. There's a terrible, terrible franchise. And then last year, they were actually good. And, legitimately good. And then they go out and added Rudy Gobert. So we'll see. We'll see, but I'm skeptical in anything with the Wolves. Because my whole life, they've been terrible for, 80% of it.
I'm sure I still have some Spurs. Spurs... I can't even think of it.
Memorabilia.
Yeah, memorabilia. I was trying to think of a different word besides memorabilia. But I'm sure I have some Spurs stuff that's still damaged from when Derek Fisher hit the shot with 0.4 seconds to go to basically say bye-bye to the Spurs in the playoffs. That was the most terrible sports moment for me as a fan, watching them turn around, the Lakers, hit a shot, 0.4 to go, and that pretty much was like, okay, see you, Spurs. After Tim Duncan, before that, hit a miraculous shot.
What about the Ray Allen three?
Yeah, I don't. Well, that okay.
Finals against the Heat.
So that's funny. So I have a 90-inch screen, pull-down projector screen that still has a little black mark from that game.
Threw something at it.
Yeah, my Spurs hat came off, and that thing went flying. And it wasn't like this angry throwing it, but I just you take your hat off and kind of throw it in disgust. But it turned in such a way that it scraped the screen, and there still was a black mark on that screen. So every time I'd watch it, I'd have to see the black mark, and I would be reminded. But to give them credit, Spurs came back next year. They responded and won.
They did. The next year, they came back and won that one. But that was a great game.
Maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves have their own Twin Towers with Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert this year.
Yeah, Gobert can't shoot outside of 3 feet, so.
But Twin Towers is more like, I feel like it's a defense term.
And if it's anything, it's the Twin Cities Towers.
Twin Cities
Towers?
Yeah,
don't take the Twin Towers away from the River City, okay? That's forever ingrained in San Antonio.
Don't act like you're the first person that ever came up with Twin Towers. Not that original of a name.
Well, in San Antonio, it's pretty special. Okay?
We're taking it from you.
Put that back in the water, man.
What's another name we could do other than Twin Towers? Twin Cities Towers or something like that. But it's like the Minnesota and the Mississippi River, two major rivers maybe. Something there. Karl Anthony Towns, who, by the way, apparently lost 15 pounds. He had a non-COVID illness and was gone for a week. Now he's back.
Yeah, now he has the ability. He said he has the ability to walk again because he was just he wasn't strong enough. That's what I saw. A weird quote from Karl Anthony Towns.
Not really where you want your players, but hopefully he's healthy and good. We need him to walk and run quite a bit for the Wolves. Sounds like he's better. Hopefully he gets past whatever he had. Again, non-COVID illness is what we were told at least, but he's back at practice. There you go. Hour number 1 in the books, just like that. Hour number 2, a couple of things. First off, Easton Stick. Got to have Easton Stick on with Men's Hair Company, the Red River Commodities, and the Spirit Shop. Also, news that nobody cares about from Rob Hipp. And we'll hear from our good friends at Dakota Nation Sportsbook as well in hour number 2. And I got a little idea for the second hour of the show. So come up with these teams now, Micah and Rob. Give me your top 2 most overwhelming and underwhelming teams in the NFL through a month. Over and underwhelming teams based off the expectations. Over and underwhelming teams. We'll do that in hour number 2 as well. When we come back here on The Insiders, brought to you each and every day by Proceed, home of the Right Choice and Right Stuff programs, and online at Proceed.net. If you need seed, think Proceed. Easton Stick to start off hour number 2 next.
Since Nodak Insurance Company started, we've gone from paying by mail to paying online. Your proof of insurance in the glove box has changed to a quick tap to our online app. And as new technologies make farming more efficient, our coverage ensures you're always protected. The way we live and work has changed, but our values, service, and commitment have remained the same. Nodak is constantly evolving to meet your insurance needs and deliver answers where and when you need them most. Nodak Insurance Company. Agents with answers.
Just as the Bison are champions on the field, Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty is a champion in real estate. When it comes to buying or selling a home, Todd knows the market and will guide you through the entire process. Choose someone you can trust. Call Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty today at 701-371-4234 or visit him at Beyond Realty, 4832 Amber Valley Parkway in Fargo. Todd is a proud partner and the preferred realtor of NDSU Athletics. Todd Cattermas with Beyond Realty. Moving the herd, one home at a time. Fall is about tradition. Tradition on the field with Bison football and tradition in the cooler with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. When you're enjoying a clean sack or a perfectly timed touchdown pass, let the crisp, cold, clean taste of Bud Light tackle your taste buds. The only bigger crowd pleaser on Saturday is another Bison win. Whether it's in the tailgate zone, a couch gate at home, or inside the Fargo Dome, the Bison go best with Bud Light, the official beer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Nutrisource is now introducing Superstars. It's a soft and tasty training reward for your pup in 4 delicious flavors: real chicken, cheddar cheese, beef, and real bacon. Each treat is less than 3 calories, and 100% of the profits from these treats go to the Nutrisource Superstars program, a program dedicated to helping family, children, and pets facing hardships. For more information on Nutrisource Superstars and all the organizations they support, go to NutrisourcePetFoods.com/giving-back.
This guy had more issues with his eyes. The minute he first came out of surgery, he walked in with a huge grin on his face, and for the first time since he was a little kid, he could see perfect.
Going to Vance Thompson Vision was an easy experience. If you're going to trust your eyes to anybody, trust them to a leader in that field.
When it came time for me to make a decision about where we were going to go for my LASIK surgery, there was no question that it would be Vance Thompson Vision.
Call 877-522-EYES to schedule a free consultation.
No one wants to think about it, but the cooler weather and cold morning starts are right around the corner. Get your vehicle ready at one of the 3 locally owned Jiffy Lubes of Fargo. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, it's easy. No appointment needed. Just drive up and drive in for your signature service oil change and a free charging system check to ensure your vehicle will be ready when you are. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, proudly serving the metro area for over 40 years, where you can do more in a jiffy.
KQWB West Fargo, KPFX HD3 Kindred, and K224FD Fargo. Bison 1660, powered by Gateway Chevrolet, Cadillac, Nissan, and Hyundai in Fargo.
And here's what you need to know.
The Steelers officially making a change at quarterback. Pittsburgh announcing that rookie Kenny Pickett will start at QB on Sunday against the Bills. He replaced Mitchell Trubisky on Sunday against the Jets, throwing 3 interceptions. Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott hasn't been ruled out yet for Sunday's upcoming game against the Rams, recovering from thumb surgery, but owner and general manager Jerry Jones told 105.3 The Fan that Prescott can't grip a football well enough to play at the moment. The Browns placed rookie running back Jerome Ford on injured reserve. He suffered an ankle injury during Sunday's loss to the Falcons. The Broncos put defensive end Randy Gregory on IR as well. He needs arthroscopic surgery on his right knee, but Denver expects to have him back this season. In baseball, the Braves failed to clinch the NL East last night, but they'll have a chance to do it again tonight when they play the Marlins. Mets and Nationals playing a doubleheader. I'm Nick Cope.
you've got the insiders.
How you play today, from this moment on, is how you will be remembered.
That's what living is. That's right. The 6 inches in front of your face.
Bringing you what you need to know and a whole lot more. Topics you care about, guests you know, and the conversations you came to hear. The Insiders are presented by Proceed. Need seed? Think Proceed.
This is your time. Now go out there and take it.
Now, here are the Insiders.
The Insiders. The Insiders.
The Insiders.
Insiders.
Rob Hipp and Andy Rickoff.
Welcome back to the Insiders here, a Tuesday for you on the show, getting ready for another week in Valley play as the Bison go on the road to Terre Haute, Indiana to take on the Sycamores of Indiana State. But right now, let's talk some NFL football with former Bison quarterback, a guy that knows a thing or two about Indiana State, and current Chargers quarterback Easton Stick, who joins us every Tuesday, thanks to Red River Commodities, the Spirit Shop, and Men's Hair Company. Easton, always great to have you back on with us, sir. Congratulations. Nice win, back in the win column there with the victory in Houston against the Texans.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Feels good to get a win. Always makes it a little bit more fun and a fun trip home. So good to get back in the win column and moving on. And we got a tough one in Cleveland this week, but feels good sitting here at 2-2 and rebounding from a tough one and showing some resiliency on Sunday. So feeling good.
Yeah, 34-24 the victory on the road at Houston in week number 4. You mentioned just good to be back in the win column, and obviously winning the games is paramount, but there's a lot of, I think, negativity around last week, not just the loss with Jacksonville, but you've had some injuries the last couple of weeks, Rashawn Slater, Joey Bosa. You've had some other injuries, and Justin Herbert also being injured a bit. Looked like Justin was healthier. It looked like the team as a whole just kind of flushing that negativity of the last week and moving on and dealing with the early season kind of ups and downs of the NFL.
Yeah, and I think just some better urgency throughout the week. That was really what the message was for us all week was regardless of what you're doing, just having some urgency about yourself and making sure we're practicing the right way, we're preparing the right way, and then taking the field the right way on Sunday because, obviously, a strong week of practice is going to help you on Sunday, but it isn't going to win you the game. You got to go out there and play and execute the plan. So we had some guys step up. Like you said, Rashawn was out. Jamari Sawyer steps up, a rookie at left tackle, and played awesome. And, had a few different receivers get called up and played really good games and made some big plays for us. So we're definitely a work in progress, but that's okay. And we're I don't know, we got the right guys in this locker room to really, become the football team that we think we can.
Hey, Easton, congratulations getting back to 500 last week. I know the Texans have had their struggles, but, you guys were up early 27-7 there at halftime. Through these first 4 games of the season so far, you talked a little bit about it. Just where do you feel the team's at? Maybe what are some of those things that you've got to work on?
Yeah, I think a work in progress is probably the best way to put it. On paper, that's what everyone wanted to talk about. Coming into the season is what we look like on paper. And as you guys know, none of that stuff matters, and we certainly look different on paper now than we did even just a few weeks ago. Injuries are a part of the game, and you lose guys, and guys got to step up and make plays, and we've definitely battled through some adversity. We've lost a lot of key guys, whether it's, for a half or for a game or longer than that, and guys are stepping up and creating roles for themselves and finding ways to keep this thing moving forward. So we're definitely a work in progress, but like I said, I just like the character of guys that we have in this locker room, and I think if we continue to press forward like we have the last couple of weeks, we'll just keep getting better, and that's all you can control.
There's a lot of superstars in this league, and some guys get more attention than others. I think of, as a Viking fan, Justin Jefferson seems to get a lot of the spotlight. Quarterbacks get a lot of spotlight, but there's also a lot of just superstar position players that tend to get a little bit more publicity than others. One guy I think gets way less than he should is your running back, Austin Eckler. I mean, the dude's special. He does a little bit of everything. And after a couple of games where, not that he wasn't around, but where it just wasn't the same Austin Eckler game, he had one of those kind of coming out parties again to remind everybody just how good Austin Eckler is. 60 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, also 49 receiving yards on 6 receptions with a touchdown as well, so 3 touchdowns in the game. That player, does he remind you of anybody at all that you've played with, and how special is he?
No, he really is special and super unique. There really isn't one guy that I could point you to and be like, man, this similar player. He really is so unique to himself, and I think just how versatile he is makes him unique. I mean, you think about the pass catching, and he's a guy that's had close to a 1,000-yard receiving season a few years ago, my rookie year. He had like 997 receiving, and has been a good rusher. But you think of the pass catching, and he's super impressive that way. But I just don't think he gets enough credit as a runner. And we didn't run it well enough the first 3 weeks, and no one was happy with that. And so, like you said, the production maybe wasn't there. But running the football is you do it as a group, and I think we really tried to commit to it on Sunday, and so you saw some better results and guys getting more comfortable and kind of getting to that rhythm. But and he's just so versatile. He does everything really well. Like I said, just probably doesn't get enough credit as a runner. The first guy never tackles him. He's so strong, and his balance is so good that he's able to be a little bit more powerful than you expect for a guy that physically is definitely not imposing, but he's just so strong. And you see him in the weight room, and he's doing incredible things. And man, he's a special player for us and a good leader for us too.
Mike Williams had a pretty solid game on the receiving end, his second game this season, over 100 yards. Just how has he continued to mold and develop for you guys?
Yeah, Mike's great. Just like a fun guy to be around, great personality, and I think is really good for our locker room that way. And then is really just like a super tough competitor, and you almost don't expect it because of the way he's a laid-back, kind of fun personality. But on Sundays, man, he really is a fierce competitor, and he's added so much to his game, the ability to run routes underneath, make contested catches underneath, and then run with the football and go get yak, like he did on Sunday, catching a crosser and turns it up the sideline and goes for 50. And so I think everyone knows how special he is as a 50-50 ball player, can go up and high point it and makes these, acrobatic, incredible catches. But he's really become a true, complete wide receiver that can run the whole tree and is super dependable. So we're lucky to have him.
Talking with Easton Stick once again, like we do every Tuesday, brought to you by the Spirit Shop Men's Hair Company and Red River Commodities. And Easton, we got to, of course, ask you about one of your newest teammates. I think the newest teammate for you. That'd be one Derek Tuska, claimed off of waivers and now on the team as well. I think he even got a little bit of run in that game, too. What's it like having another pro Bison on the squad?
Yeah, how about that? Pretty awesome. I missed Kyle out here, Emmanuel, by a few months. Was begging him to come out of retirement and so we could play together. But so it's cool to have D out here. It just shows you how crazy the NFL is. I mean, he was playing in a game for Tennessee last Sunday, and then gets a phone call, and he's on a plane and is at practice Wednesday afternoon as a Charger, and then is getting run in the game and playing on defense, playing on teams, and out there helping us win a football game. So the NFL is crazy, but it is awesome to have a familiar face and a really good friend out here back in the locker room, and he's going to fit in great here.
You mentioned his travel from Tennessee to you guys out there in LA, but I think of the last 4 months for him. I think it was Pittsburgh, then to Tennessee, then cut there and picked up off of waivers to you guys. Like, he's been around everywhere. Is he kind of swimming in the playbook right now? You trying to help him out a bit on the defensive side?
Lucky for him, he's got good guys that can handle some of that stuff for him. He sits in a meeting room with Khalil Mack every day, so there's plenty of help in that room. And he's so smart, and I think the good thing for him, too, is he was in a similar system with Vic Fangio in Denver as a rookie. So I think he's got some familiarity to the system, but he's a smart dude, man. He's here like the quarterbacks after practice, sitting in the meeting room at 7:00 at night, studying the plan and trying to get ready. So he's special that way, and like I said, he'll have no problem, and he fits in, really good with this locker room too. So it'll be fun.
Easton, wanted to talk quickly a little Bison with you. We're traveling down to Indiana State, first time since 2017. Obviously, you were at that game in a 52-0 shutout. I believe 4 touchdowns, and man, the rushing attack was on full force there, 240 yards. What do you remember about that game? Obviously, the big blowout win, but what was so special, and what do you remember about being down at Indiana State?
Yeah, honestly, it's a tough place to play. We're spoiled with the Fargo Dome and with our support from the fans and Fargo, the community, the state of North Dakota. We really are spoiled because you go play at Indiana State and you realize it's not like the support isn't like that everywhere, and it's a different place. The atmosphere is different. You got the bleachers on one side, and you run out to your sideline, and there's a few pickup trucks and some lawn chairs behind you, and so the atmosphere is different. The travel, it's tough getting there. The locker room is tiny. There's not really an area for a training room. All that stuff makes it just a little bit unique and different to play in. And so you really need to be focused and worried about what you're trying to accomplish and not let all that external stuff that, it's not bad. It's just different, and so you got to be able to handle that and then go out there and just execute. Because they always have good players, and then some years the record hasn't maybe reflected it, but they've had good players and good athletes, and you got to show up ready to win and ready to compete. Because if you don't, that atmosphere, it's a little bit different, and it can sneak up on you.
And the opponent this week for the Chargers, they go on the road again and go in a couple of time zones across the country over to Cleveland to take on the Browns. I know Myles Garrett, I don't think, played last week, but probably going to be back in the lineup this week, I would think, for the Browns. Jadeveon Clowney, I believe, is on that team, too. A couple of pretty vaunted pass rushers. What do you see in that Browns defense?
Yeah, like you said, it starts with those two guys, and the rest of that defense. They've got, 2 first-round picks at corner, a couple second-round picks, at safety. John Johnson's a really good player at safety, and they're super athletic at the linebacker spot. So, but it really does all start up front with those guys who can really rush, and you kind of got to go into the plan and it's like, okay, can we block them? How can we block them? And how can we help those guys out? So, Clowney didn't play last week with something, and then obviously Myles Garrett was out last week. So, probably expecting both of them to be back, and I think you got to plan that way, and we'll see what happens. But we played them last year, so there's some familiarity early in the season, but it's just one of those games where you're going to have to protect. It's going to be tough, and you have to bloody your nose a little bit, and how they want to play on offense, but running the football and really limiting possession. So every time you touch the ball, it's going to matter a ton. So it's going to be a awesome place to play at in Cleveland, and a tough challenge for us.
You mentioned as well, rookie left tackle now filling in for Rashawn Slater here for a little while. When you've got pass rushers like that on the edge and a young player at left tackle, how do you, as a quarterback, try and – I know you're going to line up maybe an extra tight end or some chips or give them help there, but as a quarterback, what can you do to help a younger left tackle when you know there's got those pass rushers opposite of him?
Yeah, I think it starts with the plan, like you mentioned, aligning people, there on his hip to, at minimum give the illusion that there's going to be a chip or a nudge or something, but at least maybe try to take that fastball away, from those rushers. But as a quarterback, doing the best you can, you got to mix cadence, and that can be tough on the road, when you're on silent, but finding ways to mix up the silent count a little bit, and then just doing a really good job of playing each play. And, we talk about all the time, our quarterback coach does all the time, is like, don't complicate things. If number 1 in the progression is open, throw it to number 1, because there's no guarantee that, number 2 or, a shot down the field is going to be open. And so you just got to play each play, and if one's open, get it out of your hand. And when it's not, find a way to get to the check down, because we talked about Austin Eckler. Sometimes those check downs are just as good as throwing it 20 yards down the field. So, and I think that's what makes Justin so good, is there's just not a lot of negative plays. When he feels a rush or feels something happen, and if it's just kind of a gross pocket or the timing's weird, he's so good at just getting the ball out and getting positive yards. So that'll be huge for us this week.
Easton, looking forward to it. Best of luck there against the Browns, and we'll make sure to catch up with you again down the road. Thanks for coming on with us again.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Conversations with Easton Stick brought to you in part by Men's Hair Company, the only place to go for haircuts, waxing, shaves, beard care, and more. 5 Fargo, Moorhead, West Fargo locations to choose from, so go with the home team for your haircuts this football season online. To schedule your appointment at menshairco.com. It's not just, go online and see what the wait time is. You go on there, you schedule an actual appointment, so when you walk in, they're ready for you, you're ready for them, and you get the haircut, the waxings, the shaves, whatever you're doing. I get my nose waxed there. I get the ears, the eyebrows waxed, all that kind of stuff. Nose wax?
Ear
Rob?
waxed? What about ears?
Yeah, I do that.
Once you hit like 60, don't the hair start popping out of the ears?
Probably.
I feel like it's earlier.
It's
Probably
earlier.
Yeah.
Bridget gets mad at my eyebrows. She said, your eyebrows get ridiculous, and she tries to pluck them. I said, could you just back off? I could go to Men's Hair Co. They could take care of it
They'll
for
just
me.
wax it for you.
Good to go.
Yep.
But it's an intimate activity. Like, I can be in the same group with you where my girlfriend likes to pluck my eyebrows. It's like it's therapy for them, and it's like they want to put us in pain.
I
They
know,
like seeing
100%.
it. So you should let her do it.
She did it in a parking lot one time, plucking my eyebrows. She's like, you're not going to go in here looking like this. And I said, Bridget, who cares? And she obviously cares, and I love her, so I'd let her do it.
Yeah.
Solution. Shave them off.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, don't worry. You can't pluck nothing. There ain't nothing there.
Better solution, Men's Hair Co.
Men's Hair Co. Also a really good solution. That's why they also bring you Easton Stick each and every Tuesday, along with the Spirit Shop. If you're looking to watch the game, get all your favorites for watching football, the Spirit Shop's got you covered with a great selection of beer, wine, and spirits at the best prices, plus great weekly specials at the Spirit Shop, which is located just behind Shields Home and Hardware here off 13th Avenue, close to the station even as well. So great spot there. And also brought to you by Red River Commodities with Sun Butter. All of our conversations with Easton Stick each and every week. Appreciate them and appreciate Easton coming back on. And that is a tough matchup going across the country a little bit out to Cleveland. Cleveland, we don't really not really sure what they are. Still Jacoby Brissett there, but that's a dangerous team, and they got some good pass rushers if Clowney and Myles Garrett are back there.
When is the last time Cleveland has been in the mentioning for a potential dangerous team?
Last year.
Outside of last year.
The year
2
before.
years before that. No,
Yeah,
the year
okay.
before that they were
I'll
bad.
just keep going
2
backwards.
years before that they were good.
I watched-
remember 2 years before everyone said, oh, they're not very good. And I was like, I think they'll be good. And then they were actually good. And then everyone got on their train. Oh, Cleveland. I'm like, nope, that's not good. Don't be on the Cleveland Browns train. And then they were really bad.
You're talking Baker's second year, right? After he played the end of the rookie year, and they were like, oh, wow, Baker looks good, and the Browns look good.
I said, nope, I was way off the Browns train, and I was right that year.
Just a couple months ago, I watched Draft Day with Kevin Costner, so that was, I
Great
think,
movie.
Was that 2014? I think that was trying to help spark some things there with the Browns, just the movie. I don't think it really did a whole lot at the time.
So we'll see. By the way, Chris Kleiman currently on SportsCenter right now, talking to K-State program. They are 4-1 this season, 2-0 in the Big 12. Did they face Kansas this week? I think that's why they're having them on, or something like that.
Iowa State.
Iowa State
in Ames.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the game days at Kansas. That's why they're talking about Kansas and Kansas State in state rivalry kind of there. And Kansas is actually really, really good. I think Kansas is undefeated in football, which is strange to think, but. Chris Kleiman, K-State, right now on SportsCenter. There you go. So more Bison information for you. I'll take a break. We'll come back, and when we come back on the other side, we'll hear from our friends at Dakota Nation Sportsbook, our game week sponsor of NDSU and Indiana State, and tell you all the good things you can do, including betting on the border of this Dakota Marker game in a couple of weeks. So hear about that when we come back from Dakota Nation Sportsbook.
This is the Insiders on your exclusive home for North Dakota State Athletics, Bison 1660.
Living in the Midwest, you need to make sure your roof is set up for all the elements. Give All Star Construction a call today to make sure your roofing system is ready for the winter ahead. All Star Construction specializes in residential and commercial roofing. Visit allstarfargo.com to request a free estimate. There's still time this fall to get your roofing system in place or get on the schedule for spring 2023. All Star Construction, your roofing experts for over 40 years.
Our road to the ring is brought to you by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry. Top-ranked North Dakota State got off to a fast start and never looked back in a 27-14 homecoming win versus Youngstown State this past Saturday. Fullback Hunter Lipke continued his domination on the gridiron, accounting for 106 total yards and 2 touchdowns. Quarterback Cam Miller was 13 for 18 and 145 yards through the air. Place kicker Griffin Crosa, coming off his second career Missouri Valley Special Teams Player of the Week award, remained perfect on the season, converting 2 field goals and all his fastest point after kicks, tight end Joe Stuffle led all receivers with 4 grabs for 52 yards. The road to the ring is brought to you by Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry. They have a long history and reputation for quality workmanship and rock-solid pricing. Whether diamond engagement rings, custom jewelry, or repairs, let Brenda and the team at Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry create a legacy for you and your family. Next up for the Bison, they are back on the road to battle the Indiana State Sycamores on Saturday.
When you're making decisions about your ag operation finances, you need access to the experts. This is Scott Solandic with Cornerstone Bank. Whether you're just starting your operation or looking to grow, we're here to talk you through those financial decisions. We're the kind of people who get to know you and genuinely appreciate your needs. If you're looking for a bank that's been specializing in ag banking for generations, come see us at Cornerstone Bank.
Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
October 15th, a rivalry with roots dating back to 1903 will be played for the 113th time. It's NDSU versus SDSU. Pick your side at Dakota Nation Sportsbook at Dakota Match Casino. For the first time ever, you can place bets on the Dakota Marker game at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Watch the game on their massive video board and ask about weekend promotions to win up to $500 in cash and prizes. It's green and gold versus the yellow and blue. Place your bets at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. For more, go to dakotamagic.com.
Good news! Gateway Clearance Center's construction is all done. Stop by the newly remodeled Clearance Center and experience Clearance Center pricing. Clearance Center savings. The all-new Gateway Clearance Center has been expanded and remodeled to serve you better with a bigger and better selection of clean used vehicles. The Gateway Clearance Center has over 250 used cars and trucks. Payments starting at just $199 a month. On-the-spot financing. Gateway Clearance Center, 2302 South University Drive, Fargo.
If you need any professional advice, they may not be your guys.
You want answers! I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
But if you need information on NDSU, then they got you covered. It's the Insiders on Bison 1660.
Welcome back to the Insiders. It is you. I'm going to start over, Don. My bad.
Sorry.
Welcome back to the Insiders. It is Indiana State week here for the Bison as they go out to Terre Haute to take on Indiana State and the Sycamores. And our game week sponsor is Dakota Nation Sportsbook, nice enough to be our game week sponsor of NDSU and the Sycamores. And now we talk with Don from Dakota Nation Sportsbook, nice enough to give us some time as well. Don, great to have you on with us. Appreciate the time today.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Want to touch on the things that are going on with you guys at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Obviously, it's not just this game, but also next week's game, NDSU versus SDSU. It doesn't get bigger than the Battle of the Border, the Dakota Marker game there. Can folks bet on that game, and can they bet on it even right now?
Yeah, it's right already. You just go up to the sportsbook. You have to come in. We have kiosks set up on the outside and the inside of the sportsbook. You can also even go to the sportsbook representative and make a bet there.
Hey, Don, I think one thing that really stands out, too, there may be some folks that say, hey, I've never bet on sports before. You guys kind of walk them through the process of that. Can you explain a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah, sure. We have sportsbook representatives over there that you could go up and have them help you, even show you how to bet on the kiosk. So if this is your first time betting, they will definitely be there to help you and make you feel more at ease with making your wagers.
And this is Don from Dakota Nation Sportsbook, our game week sponsor of NDSU and Indiana State. And betting on the border, the big thing happening with NDSU versus SDSU here just next weekend. But obviously a lot of things to bet on there. It's not just the game you can bet on. You can bet on the over-under. You can bet on the passing yards, rushing yards, different things like that as well. And it's not just the NDSU game either, Don. You got the World Series coming up. You got other college football, NFL football. You can bet on all that stuff at Dakota Nation Sportsbook, right?
Yep. And we also have wagers against on the UFCs and things like that.
It's a great way to get away on the weekend, too. I know that you guys have the stay and play package. Can you tell us about that process and how that works?
Oh, yeah, sure. At the hotel, you just go in and when you check in, you just ask them about the stay and play package. You get 1 night free. You pay for it, but then you get 6 coupons along with it. You get 2 $10 free play. Go to the Rewards Club, claim those, then you get 2 $10 off your meal. They're available for any of our restaurants in the casino, and then you get 2 free drink coupons.
And also, there's this big football board in the month of October for you guys at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. First 100 Reward Club players to place a $5 bet or more at the counter with a sportsbook representative qualify to put their name on the football board and a chance to win $500 cash. Can you tell us a little bit more about that promo and how you guys decided to do a football board for October? Because I think that's awesome.
Yeah, the whole idea was to try to get people to come and enjoy the sports book, not just to just make your wagers, but to also be able to have that full experience where you get to watch on a big wall. We have like a huge TV in there that's just as big as the wall. We have comfortable seats. You can sit there and enjoy yourself and watch your bets come true. The football board is, you just come in, you make your first bet. First 100 people that come in to make that bet, they can be able to put their Rewards Club number on the board, and then we will watch a game on Sunday, and that is when we will be able to determine who will be the winner at the end of the first, second, third, and final score of those games.
Again, that's
on Sundays.
Yeah, the football board, October 2nd, already in the past, but the 9th, 16th, and 23rd as well here in October. Get part of that football board. And you mentioned the great atmosphere. Big video boards to watch the games, great drinks and food. This isn't just go, place a bet, and leave, right? You can stay there. You can watch the games. You can watch whatever event it is. You can stay there and watch it. And to stay around Dakota Magic Casino as well. The sportsbook offers a whole bunch of things for you.
Yeah. You get to hang out with your friends, bring a group of people, and enjoy yourself.
And again, this is Don with us from Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Also, with that stay and play package, what else do you get? You need a chance to come down there and stay for a little bit as well. But outside of the sportsbook, what other offerings do you guys have down there at the casino?
So you get like some free play with that stay and play, which it goes onto a rewards card, and you get to play on some machines, slot machines, and be able to. You can even win. I've seen people win with that $10 free slot play. You also get entries to our big drawing at the end of the month on October 29th. It starts at 1 for your chance of $2,500 cash for the first part, and then at the 10 p.m., $5,000 in cash you get your chance at. Also, we have a costume bash coming up on October 30th where you can come to the casino, and we'll have a registration which starts at 7 and at 8, and you can come and get dressed up in your goriest or your funniest or whatever. If you have a duo, you have your funniest duo, you can come in and enter into a contest to win some cash that way too, or free play.
Don, again, thanks for joining us at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Where can folks go to get more information?
They definitely, when you come to the casino, you want to go to the Rewards Club. They have all the information about the promos, what to do. If you want to sign up, they know how it works for how much points you need for certain things and all of that. So definitely stop at the Rewards Club every time you go.
And then also the website, DakotaNationSportsbook.com, correct?
Yes.
And that football board, first 100 Reward Club players. So that Rewards Club want to be part of it because the first 100 Reward Club players to place a $5 bet or more at the counter with a sportsbook representative qualified to put their name on the football board to win up to $500 cash. Betting on the border as well. You can bet on the Dakota Marker game this year at Dakota Nations Sportsbook. Don, appreciate the time. Thanks for coming on with us. Thanks for sponsoring this week's game against Indiana State as well, and looking forward to all the bets that will be placed on that Dakota Marker game here over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing more fresh faces coming down and hanging out with us at Dakota Nation Sportsbook.
There you go, Don from Dakota Nation Sportsbook, our sponsor of NDSU versus Indiana State this week as the Bison go to Terre Haute, Indiana to take on the Sycamores. And again, betting on that border battle right there basically on the border as well. You come up from South Dakota, got to maybe make a bet. You're going down to from Fargo, maybe go down a little bit, make the bet right there near the border, and come back and hopefully win that rock and keep it in Fargo for a long, long time. That's going to be next weekend. And I know we talk trap games. It's pretty easy to look forward to that one. We are. I know the team's probably not, but we are kind of looking forward to that one. That's why Dakota Nation Sportsbook is our sponsor of this week, and also talking about betting on the border all month long here in the month of October with that big football board of theirs.
Hey, we were just talking. It would be cool to have a show there at the casino. That'd be a lot of fun. But
that's my life savings, but it'd be fun.
Yeah, I was about to say I may walk out and then my wallet would have nada left in it. But that's okay. You got to. But here's the thing, though. Whenever you go out, safe bets.
Safe bets. Bet responsibly, of course.
Put my life savings on NDSU winning this week in Terre Haute. That's what I would do.
Do it. Get a great return on it, probably, but
Probably not a great return. It'd probably not be worth it.
Yeah.
To spend
It'd
that
probably
much money.
be favored fairly heavily.
Oh, yeah. So it wouldn't be worth it, but
you can make a $1 NFL parlay bet.
That's
the
safe
Micah
betting.
Bindi special.
That's safe betting right there.
You have to hit it once. Just hit that thing once.
1 out of like 8,000. Then I'm on top.
And you're even at that point, just about.
I would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
About even.
I think one of the great things, talking just a few moments ago with Don too, was you don't just go in and place a bet. You actually get to watch sports.
Yeah.
They have TVs, food, everything. It
The
sounds
whole
really great environment.
Sports book, lounge, and everything. They got a great environment, great atmosphere there at Dakota Nation Sportsbook. Take a break, though. We'll be back. And how about news that doesn't really matter with Rob Hipp when we come back?
Hear the herd here. Bison's 1660.
So most companies claim they have good people, good product, good customer service, but the question is how often. We go the extra mile to take care of our dealers and our growers, and more importantly, their families and their customers.
ProSeed tries to bring a family-like experience. Farmers, we want to understand what their challenges are. We also want to bring products to them that help them overcome those challenges so that they can be as successful as possible.
Need seed? Think ProSeed. ProSeed.net. Great seed at a reasonable price.
Location, location, location. If you are a business owner looking for your next commercial space, Epic Companies has the best options for you. Whether you are looking for 1,000 square feet of commercial space or 50,000, Epic Companies has what you're looking for. We have properties in West Fargo, South Fargo, downtown Fargo, and Moorhead. Move-in incentives are currently available for a number of our properties and can be discussed with Zach, our Director of Realty. Visit EpicCompaniesND.com for more information. That's EpicCompaniesND.com.
The Bison Hotline post-game show is broadcasting live this year from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo. Come see the Bison 1660 crew live after every NDSU football game and register to win prizes including Bison 1660 t-shirts, tickets to upcoming games, and a whole lot more. Plus, take advantage of the great food and drink specials at Applebee's. Bison Hotline broadcasting live after every NDSU football game from Applebee's on 19th Avenue North in Fargo, right across from the Fargo Dome. Horns up.
We all want to be part of a winning team, right? Hi, this is Marcus with Steamatic, and I am very proud of our team. Industry experts have voted Steamatic the best method of cleaning with our patented steam cleaning process, our 24-hour service, and highly trained technicians. We do it all from carpet cleaning, air duct cleaning, fire and water damage restoration, and remember, Bison fanatics choose Steamatic.
Steamatic, call 232-4707.
If you're looking for a towing company that has graduated to the next level, you're looking for All Pro Towing. All Pro Towing specializes in heavy-duty and light-duty recovery. All Pro Towing is there for lockouts and jump starts and tire changes. Plus, they're available 24/7 for all emergencies. So when you're looking for a real pro, you need All Pro Towing. Save their number for when you need a tow. 701-541-3900.
Sugar beet season is in full swing. Are you having issues with your bedliner while hauling? Contact Horn Plastics today. Horn Plastics has industry-leading bedliners that will guarantee you get every dime out of your haul. With a superior slide bedliner, you'll not only prolong the life of your equipment, you'll increase the amount of material in each load, increase the number of loads per day, which in turn makes you more money. Call today for a free estimate or to get your install scheduled. Online at hornplastics.com. That's hornplastics.com.
Here's your Red River Valley weather update on Bison 1660.
70 degrees for a high today, but 40% chance of some showers, mainly after 1 p.m. Mostly cloudy skies tonight and a 20% chance of some thunderstorms. We will cool down as well into the low 50s.
This weather update brought to you by FM Truck Sales, your one-stop shop for good, clean, quality used trucks, including over-the-road, dump trucks, farm trucks, and more. FM Truck Sales in Moorhead. Check them out for good, clean trucks for any size job. Online, fmtrucksales.net.
I'm Emily. I had my LASIK surgery here at Vance Thompson Vision. Being in the healthcare field, the highest technology is huge for patients. For me, that was the leading choice and why I chose to go with Vance Thompson Vision. Life without glasses in the operating room has been incredible for me. There's no more fogging. There's no more having issues with my glasses sliding down on my face. It's been great for me.
Call 877-522-EYES to schedule a free consultation.
Did you know hyperbaric oxygen can decrease inflammation and speed up your healing process dramatically? I'm Menly with Fargo's first hyperbaric oxygen center, Healing with Hyperbarics, conveniently located off 45th Street. We are celebrating 4 years in Fargo, and as the experts in treating concussions, brain injuries, sports injuries, and post-COVID symptoms, we welcome you to find out how we can help you heal. We have an FDA-approved device to diagnose concussions and can treat the same day to get you back to feeling better faster. Find out how we can help you at healingwithhyperbarics.com.
From the court to the field and everywhere in between. Your home for NDSU athletics. Bison 1660.
Welcome back to the Insiders. Andy Rickoff, Rob Hipp here with you, along with Micah Bindi. Today's show brought to you in part by Valley Service Mechanical. Valley Service Mechanical knows that the mechanical systems are the heartbeat of your home or business. Whether it's the furnace, AC, or plumbing, commercial or residential, there's only one name to call. That's Valley Service Mechanical at 701-293-5701 or online at valleyservice.net. And also brought to you in part by Red River Commodities with Sunbutter. Sunbutter is free of the top 8 food allergens, including peanuts, tree nuts, soy, and dairy, and grown in the tri-state area, produced locally in Fargo at Red River Commodities. Sunbutter, delicious flavor, simple ingredients, and I am partial to the chocolate Sunbutter myself. But they help bring you Easton Stick each and every Tuesday, which we had Easton on just a little while ago. If you didn't hear that, you can podcast the show and podcast all of our interviews as well. We are on bison1660.com, the website. We go through Spreaker, which now allows us to send stuff out to Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. Wherever you get a podcast, you can listen to that stuff. Just type in The Insiders, type in Bison1660. You'll find that stuff pretty quick. Really happy with how that whole thing is going with Spreaker. And I know it was a change for some of our fans going away from SoundCloud, but it seems like it's been really well received. Really excited about that. So, again, if you are looking for the podcast of the show, you don't know where to find it, easiest thing to do is just go to our website, bison1660.com, and click on shows. All the podcasts, all the latest episodes of the Coaches Show, press conferences, games, highlights, the Insiders as well. It's all right there for you in that shows tab as well on our website, bison1660.com. But you can find the podcasts basically anywhere you find podcasts.
Yeah, I think you go there, like you said, click that shows link. Andy, I know just recently organizing all that, great way to keep up with everything. And I always say this, it's so awesome to be able to have that one resource to access everything. If you want your Bison fix, that's where you go.
Absolutely. And hopefully come right here for the show as well. This is The Insiders. We got you all the stuff you need to know about the NDSU football, basketball, all that kind of stuff. Head coach Jory Collins of the women's basketball program, by the way, will be joining us tomorrow. I know we talked men's basketball yesterday with Dave Richmond. Women's basketball will be coming up with us tomorrow. Jory Collins at noon. Very much looking forward to having the coach on. I know there's a lot of new faces on that squad, but one face that's returning is Heaven Hamlin, and she is one heck of a player and going to be a player that is definitely somewhere on that preseason All-Summit League voting. I don't know what team will be on first or second, but she's going to be one of those players to watch for NDSU women's basketball once again. And I mentioned this yesterday. I'll mention it again until that game comes. November 17th, NDSU women's basketball hosting Minnesota. Get to that game. That's a marquee game. You get a Big Ten team to come to Fargo. Let's go out and pack the shack and make it a fun atmosphere for that game against the Gophers.
Season tickets on sale. Go bison.com. You can pick them up there. And then earlier this morning, we were talking off this show, and we'll bring it up on this show. Volleyball right now, 5-0. Great start for them. That's been some time since they've started that in conference play, so excited for the volleyball team as well.
No, absolutely. They're playing extremely well and off to their best start in a long time in Summit League play. They've looked great. Had a sweep last week of 3 different games. USD, ORU, and UMKC swept them 5-0 in conference play right now on top of the Summit League. They, I believe, the only undefeated team in Summit League play here so far. And they get a couple of matches again this week. How about this one on Saturday? I know the Bison face off against Indiana State at noon. Right after that, how about you just go on over after you watch the game and stuff? Listen to it on Bison 1660, of course, 107.9 on the Fox and the Pioneer Seed Bison Radio Network. But then you can just go right over to the Benson Bunker Fieldhouse on Saturday, 7 p.m., volleyball versus UND. Doesn't get much bigger than that one. And UND's 3-1 in the league, too. So that's not just a NDSU, UND, in-state rivalry, we don't like each other. That's like 2 teams at the top of the league as well. So a lot at stake in that game.
It's a good way to stay connected, bring the family out, and, many folks waiting for football on Saturday. But, hey, let's support these other programs as well. We talked to soccer coach last week.
Mike Regan.
Talked to Coach Regan. It was great to hear him. And
they won on Sunday, had 4 goals.
So a lot of great things happening across all of NDU athletics. So come on out and support them.
And then wrestling gets going here soon, too. So we'll have to have Roger Kish on once again, talk some NDSU wrestling. I know they got some wrestlers, some different faces in there as well that they're very much looking forward to. But guys like Jared Franick and others that have been around that program for a little while are also big names. And that's a wrestling program I know has some high hopes and expectations and aspirations for this upcoming season. How about some news that nobody cares about? I know you've been digging through this. You said that this is something you want to do every day because you're an old man that watches the news now, so you know a lot of news, you know a lot of stuff, and sometimes it's interesting, sometimes it's useful, and sometimes it's just not quite so much. But it's a new thing we're going to do on the show every once in a while to get some of that news you're watching knowledge out of your head. We're going to call it News That Nobody Cares About with Rob Hipp.
On Tuesdays. And can you go ahead and open the segue for us?
Of course. This is News That Nobody Cares About with Rob Hipp.
I like that in the background there by Micah Biddy. All right, so I had 2 of them today, all right? One of them maybe some folks care about. How about the Texans winless through the first 4 games and the 4th time since the program's inception back in 2002? So that was the first one. Not really.
The Texans, not very good.
Not really that good. So, although, as someone who was like, I don't really want to see the Texans win, I was like, okay. But that would make it news that I wanted to hear, right? So that wasn't good. So here now is the news that you don't really care about. Santa Clara men's cross-country runners, they're going a little bit viral with their headshots. All right, you can go find this on Twitter. Just search for it. It's their cross-country team. They have recently had photos blow up all over social media through the art of silly headshots. So they have created headshots on the website where they actually got their hair cut in certain ways.
On the athletics website?
On the athletics website to look goofy. Some of them shaved their mustaches really awkwardly. One of them, the guy looks like Dumb and Dumber. Literally shaved his head with the bowl cut. Put a bowl, shaved it around.
There you go.
So this is the Santa Clara cross-country team right here. And
there you go.
Yeah, here you go. If you're behind the mic, you can see this too. Here on our horse cam.
Horse cam, baby.
You can see that right there. So, again, Santa Clara cross-country team going viral with goofy headshots that were meant as a joke, but they are put on the athletics website as well. That is your news that nobody really cares about.
And that was News That Nobody Cares About with Rob Hipp. There you go. Santa Clara men's cross-country team.
Yep.
And they probably did that. I want to be the person that took the pictures of them because you're showing up thinking, okay, going to be in the polos, we're going to take some pictures. There's like 6 or 7 of you, and then they show up and they have all the goofy haircuts. And there's some creative facial hair on that team for sure.
I like the bowl cut.
The bowl cut with the mustache.
Back.
There was one that had a ton of hair just all over the place as well. So
yeah,
and good dudes there.
And on Twitter, there's even some behind the scenes. And the bowl cut, by the way, Micah Bindi, legitimately was a bowl cut. They put a white plastic bowl on top of his head and went around it. There's some behind the scenes look on that from the Santa Clara cross country team.
Hey, social media age. That's good stuff from the cross country team. Getting that team a little bit more viral. Probably had some more supporters out their last meet or whatever. Way to go.
Way to go with the bowl cut.
Santa Clara. There you go. News that nobody cares about with Rob Hipp. Can't wait till the next episode. Just riveting stuff. It's the best.
I wanted to lead you in with Rob, that was terrible news, bringing up the Texans. So then I kind of got you disappointed and then got you a little bit more excited. Say, okay, this is definitely news we didn't need to know.
Really paid off the bet. I like it. I'll take our final break here on the show. We're here with you live inside our Theraldson Ethanol Broadcast Center. Theraldson Ethanol has recently partnered with GPRE Inc. to build GP Turnkey, Theraldson Ethanol LLC. That's their turnkey company that will produce high-protein animal feed as well. Theraldson Ethanol not only produces 175 million gallons of ethanol per year, but also 400 tons of livestock feed per year, part of this turnkey Theraldson Ethanol LLC. And again, you can go online to learn about more jobs there and fuel your future at theraldsonethanol.com. Take our final break. Back to wrap up the show for you next.
You're listening to the Insiders on your home for NDSU sports. Bison 1660.
All sites, please stand by Channel 1.
This is a public service announcement from the sewer surgeons at Drain Services Incorporated. Tree roots are the #1 cause of sewer backups as they grow into your pipes, forming solid blockages. Eliminate pesky tree roots with trenchless pipe repairs from Drain Services Inc., specializing in no-dig trenchless pipe lining that will fix the root of the problem. All installations come with a 50-year warranty. For a free sewer inspection, call 701-799-8787 or visit drainservicesinc.com.
Siggy's Garage Burgers and Brews is your home for happy hour. Twice a day, 3 to 6 and 9 to close, Sunday through Friday, 9 to close on Saturdays. And while you're here, you can load up on loaded tots, cauliflower wings, chips with jalapeno cream corn, or the cheesy jalapeno corn fritters. So many more new flavors to kick back and enjoy while watching the game or relaxing with friends. Whatever new flavor you choose, we'll see you at Sicky's.
Some things in life don't allow for a do-over. Your engagement ring is one of them. Stop in to Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry to design the perfect ring. Our team of diamond experts will give you the personalized service you deserve, hand-selecting the center diamond to crafting the ring of her dreams. Your once-in-a-lifetime engagement ring experience starts with Schmidt's Gems and Fine Jewelry, 3241 42nd Street South, Fargo. Online at schmidtsjewelry.com.
Doesn't matter who you are or where you're from, you're always welcome where there's Jim Beam. Small town guy in a big city guy in a small town. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, you'll be welcome. Country guy at a rock show, Viking fan at a Packer game.
And the throw incomplete. Oh, what a pressing tackle.
Just look for the Jim Beam, and you know you're always welcome. Your friends at Jim Beam remind you to drink responsibly.
Every fan loves an explosive play on the field when someone breaks free and takes it to the house. Take that feeling anywhere with the explosive taste of Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Bud Light Seltzer is always the right call for game day. The bold flavor of the hard soda variety pack and the all-new seasonal apple slices flavors will definitely score points with your team in the tailgate zone or inside the Fargo Dome. Bud Light Seltzer, the official hard seltzer of the NDSU Bison. Please drink responsibly, never drink and drive.
Toss out the medicine bottle. Can't remember if I took my meds today or not. Get rid of the pill dispenser. Another chore I have to do every week. Take advantage of strip packaging. MD Pharmacy in Fargo. A totally customized, sealed daily pack of your medicine in the doses just for you. Take the guesswork and time out of getting your prescriptions. Since it's local, you don't have to wait for days for your medication to arrive. Let MD Pharmacy inside the 13th Avenue Hornbachers help with your prescriptions.
MD Pharmacy, 701-364-5690.
Hi, it's Kelly, and I want to tell you about my great experience with Valley Service Mechanical. They were polite and very easy to deal with. They were knowledgeable and helped me understand every step of the process. From the initial discussion of purchase options to the installation, it was a top-notch experience. If you ever want to work with professionals, I would strongly recommend Valley Service Mechanical.
When your heating and cooling needs help and your plumbing is on the fritz, call Valley Service Mechanical, 701-293-5701. Online at valleyservice.net.
No one wants to think about it, but the cooler weather and cold morning starts are right around the corner. Get your vehicle ready at one of the 3 locally owned Jiffy Lubes of Fargo. Oil changes are the #1 maintenance item that's neglected. At Jiffy Lube of Fargo, it's easy. No appointment needed. Just drive up and drive in for your signature service oil change and a free charging system check to ensure your vehicle will be ready when you are. Jiffy Lube of Fargo, proudly serving the metro area for over 40 years, where you can do more in a jiffy.
Code Green is coming alive! Bison football is back on the road this weekend as they battle the Indiana State Sycamores. Our comprehensive coverage starts at 6 a.m. with kickoff scheduled for noon on Saturday. Coverage of NDSU at Indiana State is brought to you by Dakota Nations Sportsbook. Dakota Nations Sportsbook is located inside the Dakota Magic Casino in Hankinson. The Dakota Nations Sportsbook is the most action-packed sportsbook in the Midwest. Learn more at DakotaNationsSportsbook.com.
You hear that? The herd is headed your way. You're hearing from the insiders right here on Bison 1660.
Break him out of the huddle. He'll go under center in an I formation. In the very back tail of that I is Hunter Lipke. He'll flip it over to Lipke. Lipke finds daylight. 5, touchdown! Hunter Lipke with his second rushing touchdown of the afternoon, and it's 13-0.
4 fullbacks on the field in one play. When you got 4 fullbacks on the play, it's deserving of the Jim Beam Smooth play of the game. Jim Beam has bourbon for every palate, whether you want the smooth, classic Kentucky straight bourbon, the tangy new Jim Beam Orange, or the new canned cocktails, classic highball or ginger highball. Jim Beam, the world's #1 bourbon. Please drink responsibly. Hunter Lipke, very, very good. And quite the majestic beast, #majestic beast out there for Hunter Lipke. How many touchdowns this week? Want to make an early prediction on that one? Or
For Lipke?
Yeah.
2.
2?
2 touchdowns, both rushing.
I'm going to go 1.
I'm going to wait for the passing touchdown. He's a do-it-all guy.
Okay. The passing touchdown.
The passing touchdown.
You're making a call this week on that?
Not this week.
Okay.
We're gonna save it for SDSU.
Okay. Gotcha.
Dakota Marker game.
Yeah, pull it out in a different week. I got you.
Pull it out.
Put it on the board.
Put it on the board. And if you don't get that one, you don't get to use your car for a week.
My car?
I have no idea. We'll just make something
No,
really
my
ridiculous.
car's not much anyways. So.
Okay, fair enough. End of the show here. Andy, Rob, and Micah with you. Fun show today. Again, tomorrow we got Jory Collins. By the way, got some other great guests for later on in the week. And I know you got a friend from Sam Houston that will be stopping by tomorrow too, correct?
Yeah, I have Ben Reichert on. He's with Communications there. Talk a little bit about the Battle of the Piney Woods. Also his thoughts on FCS to FBS transition. And then
Sam
next
Houston.
week, going to have, I know we're already looking a week out. And what is it today? What are we, Tuesday? We're already looking a week
it's
out?
Wednesday, Rob.
No, it's Tuesday.
Come
Come
on,
on, man.
trick him. I almost got him.
So, I mean, we're already looking a week out, but next week, too, we're lining up great guests. Andy, you're doing a great job with that as always. And I've got a few folks coming on. We're going to have Dr. Cook in here next week, too, to talk about all the great things happening at the university. So a lot of fun happening here over the next couple of weeks for
Can't
sure.
wait to have the new president of NDSU here on the station next week. So fun stuff coming up in the next couple of days. But a really fun thing happened last night in Monday Night Football. Not only a nice win for the 49ers over the Rams, which Micah Bindi was 1,000% wrong on. Guess he said the Rams were going to blow them out. That didn't happen. They didn't even score a touchdown. But also there was a streaker last night. And, I'm not trying to encourage streakers or anything, but they tend to make pretty good calls on radio from one Kevin Harlan, who's on Westwood 1. And, well, Kevin Harlan got another game with a streaker, so Kevin Harlan did it again.
And here comes a stoppage in play because someone has run on the field with a smoke bomb that is pink, and he's running up the sideline. Now a couple of Rams come over there and make the tackle. Head first, and he's in a cloud of pink smoke so you can't see him, and now on him are a couple of security guards. That guy is headed to the slammer, and it will not be a good night.
It will not be a good night.
Someone's having a girl, we know. Somebody's having a girl.
That's a gender reveal thing. Yeah, definitely.
Ultimate
Bobby
gender
Wagner,
reveal.
though, led with the helmet. That's targeting. That's targeting on Bobby Wagner. That's 15.
Let's see a fine.
Unsportsmanlike.
He deserves a fine for that.
Targeting. You can't lead with the top of the helmet, the crown of the helmet. Did he get checked out for a concussion? Did he go in concussion protocol? Probably not.
Get him in the blue tent.
Jeez. Can't believe the NFL these days.
I think there may be like some sort of conspiracy forming now that someone plants these specifically for Kevin Harlan.
I think so.
There was the one with the cat years ago, and then
Play the highlight.
Yeah, we got the cat one right.
Play it.
He's walking to the 3. He's at the 2. And the cat is in the CDW red zone. CDW, people who get it now, a policeman, a state trooper has come on the field, and the cat runs into the end zone. That is a touchdown.
Yes.
And the cat is elusive, kind of like Barkley and Elliott. But he didn't know where to go. Look at, they're trying to corner him, and they got him in the end zone. There are state troopers all around this cat, which now climbs up into the stands. And the fans are running for their run. Now it goes back up.
The best is that he literally does the call or the live read. The cat's in the CDW red zone. CDW people that make it different or whatever. He
And
says.
CDW probably got a that's good. And then he had we don't have this one and we don't have time to play it, but there was the one in an NBA game where the guy spills beer all over him, and he's talking about that guy for 2 minutes. He can make the most dry, uninteresting things the best things in sports history to listen to.
Double spillage, triple spillage. That was Kevin Harlan. He's phenomenal. He just defines the weird things that happen during a game and broadcasts them better than anybody else in the biz. So I'll do it for the show today. Thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully we were kind of as fun and entertaining as Kevin Harlan on a streaker call, at least every once in a while for you. Fun show tomorrow. Jory Collins stops by and a whole lot more. Thanks for joining us today. Come back with us again tomorrow from 11 to 1.
Theraldson Ethanol, the ethanol plant located in Castleton, North Dakota, is accepting applications for a process operator. Work 4 days on and 4 days off, night and day swing shifts. Applicant must